You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Hey, y'all. Happy Monday. Where did the weekend go? Happy Pride. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. A lot happened this weekend, and it's still Pride Month. Don't forget, guys, we're still raising money for the center, the LGBT Center here in New York City for Pride Month. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. Again, all that information, you can check out any of our last couple of videos. If you're watching the replay of this, it should be somewhere along here. So be sure to donate. Shout out to those of you that have already donated. We are very far from our goal. So I'm just going to give you the Black Mother stare. Look, really? We can do it, though. We still have about a week. Look, I get it. Not everyone's got it. But collectively, if we all gave $1, we definitely have more than 10,000 people that watch this channel. So if we all collectively gave $1, that would make a difference. Just saying. I get it. Not everybody's got it. But you can share. You can like the video, right? Thank you. Guys, don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show is also happening here in New York City at the end of the summer. I know it feels like it's a long ways away, but it's not. It's not a long ways away. September 25th is right around the corner. If you enjoy our hot topics, the live show, for those that have been to the live show, can you just tell the people in the comment section and in the live chat, it's not what you see here on YouTube or TikTok or anywhere else. It's a very different experience. It's also where I spill a lot of tea and also where we find out a lot of tea from you. And I saw a young lady yesterday here in New York City. And anytime I see you guys in the wild, I always say to you, wait, are you coming to my live show? Because I have to do my self-promotion. And a lot of you are fearful of coming on your own. And I had to tell this young lady, I was like, please understand, there are so many people that have said the same thing that you're saying to me that have ended up coming on their own, making friends, and feeling very comfortable. This is the one show that one place that you can go to that you can come on your own and be with your people, be with your community, and actually make friends. So many people have made friends from that experience. So be sure to get your tickets today. If you can come to New York, the great thing about our collaboration with the Green Room 42 is the fact that you can get a live stream option. So get your live stream ticket if you can't be in New York City on September 25th. Ticket information will be available in the description. All right. Okay, let me see what you guys say. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. Shout out to 172 likes. We appreciate you guys as well. I think someone might have disliked by accident because we didn't even start yet. So what are you disliking? Oh, you're a hater? Oh, okay. Okay, hater. Everyone say hello, hater that's watching. Hello, hater. On Pride Month, your dislike is homophobic. Oh, it's so hot in London. Candy says, hello, Kempire. It's so hot in London. I'm in the park listening to you. Is it hot? What's the weather? And you guys don't love AC over there, right? Ew. Scotland's in the building. What's going on? I want to go to Scotland. I've already seen the previews for next week's episode of RHOA Housewives of Atlanta, and I'm like, oh, man. That's been on my list for a while. There's so many places on my list, let's be honest. Look, run down the places, and I'm like, I want to go. All right. Thank you so much. K Unique says, getting my live stream ticket this weekend. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Exactly. Manifesting says, hi, hater. Soraya says, hi, hater. Danita says, hi, hater. Angel says, hi, hater. Miss Parker, what's going on? Miss Parker says, hi, hater. All right. We're not going to give the hate any more attention. I thought it was funny. But here we are. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Engaging with the video, watching. Even when the haters watch, they don't realize they're still paying the bills. Thank you. Keep watching. Keep watching. Miss Parker says Scotland looks so peaceful. It does. It does. And I just finished watching the 3 seasons of The Traitors Canada. They're not paying me, but they should. It's okay. Superstar 7 says, Kempire, stop. I actually did dislike on accident. I'm getting my nails done and accidentally hit the dislike button, but I saw you fixed it. I saw that. It does happen. It does happen. It's okay, though. Thank you. Ashley says the London live show was lit. I got to come back to London. It's not that I haven't tried. I tell you guys, y'all think it's easy to book these shows. It's not. I know. But anyway, let's get to our RHOA Housewives of Atlanta recap. Yes, I'm wearing my Team USA soccer jersey. I bought a couple of jerseys. So you're going to see a couple of different jerseys over the next few weeks. It is the World Cup here in the States. So I've been here and there. I haven't been watching every single game, but I've been keeping abreast. I'm so sorry to hear about Haiti not qualifying to move further into the World Cup, but it was a moment. So congratulations to them for being a part. Okay. I did try to get as many jerseys of people of color because the place I went to didn't really have like all the jerseys, but I'm going to be collecting. These jerseys ain't cheap though. So the soccer jerseys are not cheap. I also have my Knicks gear. I'll be wearing my Knicks gear all summer as well. So you'll be seeing there. If I do an outfit change during this live, because I don't have enough backs in order to wear all the jerseys at one time. Okay. Exactly. Coca says, that's okay. We are proud of our boys regardless. Exactly. Shout out to Haiti. Shout out to Haiti. All right. Moving on. How would you guys rate last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta from 1 to 10? Don't forget to vote in our live chat poll for those of you watching on YouTube as well. Let me take a sip before we get into it. If you had to rate last night's episode, how are you guys feeling about the season? Because now we're more than halfway through the season. How do you feel about it? NYC DMP says, I always go alone to my live show. Yep, that's true. Millie says, it's KSPN summer. I like soccer, though. I don't watch it avidly. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a big soccer fan. But I do watch it here and there. And especially during the World Cup, I usually watch it. So I'm more of a finals player, watcher. Kempire, this is the most diverse World Cup. Yeah, and don't they have a record number of participants this year? I did see a Jamaican jersey. I'll just say this, though. The Jamaican jersey that I saw, first of all, they're not in the World Cup, unfortunately. But the one that I saw, I didn't like. I didn't like how they did it. The Morocco jersey? Wait till y'all see me in my Morocco jersey. The Morocco jersey is beautiful. Whoever designed that did a good job. I did get a Mexico jersey. Let me not tell y'all what I got. Y'all will see it here on the channel, okay? Destiny says more enjoyable than season 16. All right. So you guys are enjoying season 17. All right. Tiara says the Jamaicans have been rooting for Brazil. That's good to know. T says Jamaica hurt my feelings. I know. All right. Let me see. Thank you, Gadget Girl, for the super chat. Gadget Girl says, hi, Kemp. Here's my donation. Gadget Girl, I appreciate it. I will send the donation I'll make the donation on behalf of you. But here's why I don't want you guys to send the donation here. Super chats are split between myself and YouTube. So 100% of your donation doesn't go to the charity. So please donate to the designated video. There are all my other videos from this weekend. This video doesn't have it. It will have it in the replay, but 100% of your donation goes to the organization when you donate there. So that's the difference. This $10 really only going to be like $4. Okay. So just keep that in mind. I appreciate the donation, but thank you. Oh, damn. Cheryl says, Kempire, you can support Morocco after what they did to Senegal at the Africa Cup. Y'all will see my jerseys. Y'all will see my jerseys. Mention It All says, Kempire, are you going to cover the Z-Way Portia interview? It looks like it's going to be good. When you say cover, I can't recap everything, y'all. If you expect from a Z-Way interview, we're going to get something of content. You're going to get funny. But what am I recapping from this interview? The funny? I might talk about it. I think it's going to be very enjoyable. But what am I recapping? This is not like she's going to ask her the most serious questions of what's been going on with Portia. It's meant to be entertaining and fun. You know what I mean? BG says, what? Hold on. BG says, what? You two be taking your super... Yeah, they take a portion. So shout out to those of you that send the Cash Apps and the Venmos. I get 100% of those. Just saying. All right. Yeah, they take a portion. Y'all thought I was getting all of it? No. Look, no. They take a good old portion. Okay. See, y'all learn something new every day, huh? All right. Let me focus. Let me get through this because these Real Housewives of Atlanta recaps end up being 3 hours, which I don't mind, especially when we don't have 2 recaps in a day. Shout out to Married to Medicine. Just saying. Damn, I just got my nails done. Oh, look. Happy Pride, y'all. Back to this. If you guys had to rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? How are you feeling about the season? I think it's a decent season. If I had to rate the season overall, I probably would give it a 7. And I know some of you are going to be like, a 7? That's pretty low. Not really. 7 is more than passing. And I feel like it's been a good season, but the reason why I can't give it a 9 or a 10 is because when you look at the people that actually are carrying the season, that actually have storylines, there aren't a lot. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's a good season. I definitely feel like they found their legs, but at the same time, it's not a perfect season. There isn't a lot of personal story from everyone involved. Hence why it doesn't feel that way for a lot of people because we have 8 housewives, but there really isn't a lot of personal. Ms. Zebo says, same, 7 sounds good. You guys let me know. And if you had to rate this week's episode, how would you rate this week's episode? I don't know if it's the high off of watching basketball for the last few weeks. Shout out to the Knicks. Look, shout out to the Knicks. I don't know if it's the high off. I enjoyed this episode. It also reminded me, we need more of Charles Oakley. Because this episode, we got a little bit more of Charles Oakley than we have this entire season. And he's so funny. He's just so naturally himself and funny that I'm like, we need more of Charles Oakley. But I think it's intentional that we're not getting a lot of Charles Oakley because when we did get a lot of Charles Oakley, you guys are questioning their marriage. He was getting it every single week. It didn't do well for Angela. All right. Ms. Parker says, it's decently, but mainly watched so I can keep up with your reviews, Kemper. Thank you, Ms. Parker. A lot of people say that. T says Charles is a mess. Dana gave it a 7. Noda Queen gave it a 7. Okay. Foxy says he was actually funny. He was my favorite part of the episode. The basketball game was my favorite part of the episode. All right. Let's just get into it. So Cynthia and Angela meet up. Cynthia is continuously bringing it, and she's just a friend of. Here's my issue. My issue is that Cynthia even brought her man to the basketball game. And we have housewives, full-time housewives, that don't even have relationships on this show. I'm not going to even count Portia because whatever Portia's doing, she keeps bringing Mike around. We barely have seen Sway, which is so interesting to me because we've seen more of Mike than we've seen of Sway, and she's been with Sway apparently like a year. I did see a clip for next week's episode where she's gay. I was like, oh, she's gay? Is she a full-on lesbian? Okay, Portia. Welcome to the community. I don't know. Here's the thing. That my frustration with people that like to play gay. Just saying. I'm not saying that's what she's doing. But shout out to the lesbians. Lesbians will tell you this from their firsthand experience of why they're wary of messing with people like Portia, because all of a sudden you're all about it, and then all of a sudden you're back with men and you're no longer gay. And it was convenient for the moment. Okay? My frustration with that is I can't do that. A lesbian Sway can't do that. We can't tomorrow say, oh, we're straight. We could say it, but it wouldn't be true. You know what I mean? So that's my frustration with people that feel like they can kind of come in and out the closet. How convenient for them, especially in this Pride Month. So Atlanta's a little bit different. I'm not saying that's what Portia's doing. Oh, it's Portia's birthday. Happy birthday, Portia. Happy birthday to Portia. Happy birthday to Portia. Happy birthday, dear Portia. Happy birthday to you. Elle says playing gay is dangerous. Foxy says Portia is bi. She's never, at least in next week's episode, she's saying that she's gay. So I don't know if she's bi. I don't know what she is. Soraya says, child, is Pilar not confused? She says she hasn't had Pilar around these people. Okay? At least during the filming. We've seen since that Pilar has been around the kids. Okay? Did y'all notice how I said birth gay? Only one KBZ says birth gay. Yes, happy birthday to Portia. Felicia says, same candy. Oh my goodness. Lord have mercy. All right, let's move on. Okay. All right. Okay, we have breaking news that Clive Davis has passed away. Okay. Breaking news. Clive Davis has passed away. Okay. All right. Let's get back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right. So this first scene we have with Cynthia and Angela meeting up. Okay. So Angela, here's my frustration with you. Okay. Why don't you know how to present food? Why don't you know how to present food? I feel like I get so frustrated with Angela. Angela's having such a great... I guess you can't be perfect, right? You can't be perfect. Angela, at least she had food. Because then there's that struggle. Angela cannot seem to ever serve her husband food properly. Okay. She can't. I'm like, I don't get it. She had all that food that she pretended to cook. She really wasn't trying to pretend. Angela's just, I got you food here. Still in the containers. Girl, you couldn't plate the food? You couldn't put them in little... I don't think she has presentable bowls and things like that. Because we talked about this before during the season alone. Angela, put them in presentable trays and dishes and... No. The food looked good. She didn't make it herself. But I got so frustrated. I'm just like, every single time, at least she had the food. But every single time, the presentation is always lackluster. She didn't even finish opening the plastic containers. Where did she even order from? Poppy says the presentation is everything to me. I agree. I feel like sometimes presentation will make you either want to eat the food or not eat the food. I don't feel like it didn't make Cynthia not want to eat the food. Cynthia was just happy that there was some food. So they said, Cynthia had to plate it herself and sit down. And in the plate she used, I was just like, oh my God, I can't with Angela. Angela, that's one thing you got to work on for next season. Okay. Tyrese says, I'm not good at that either, Kemp. At least you know your struggles, but you're also not on a reality show where people are judging you. Your family's probably judging you, Tyrese. If I saw a picture of it, I would probably judge you, but I wouldn't say anything because you're not on a reality show. So I wouldn't say anything in my head. But if we were friends and I was at your house, I'd get you together. Girl, we need to do better with this, especially if we were doing a hosting thing. You were hosting the people. I'd be like, girl, like if I was helping you prepare, I'd be like, no, we got to get serving dishes, serving bowls. We got to get, we got to get the things. What are you doing right now? And those things can be so cheap. It's not like you have to spend a lot in order to get those. You can go to the Marshalls, the TJ Maxx. You can go, there's so many places that you can get these things. You can go to the Dollar Tree and get something nice, or Family Dollar, the dollar store, and get presentable things, even disposable things. These styles says Angela Containers Oakley. You mean no containers Oakley? No containers Oakley. Lord have mercy. Anyway, all right. So that was my frustration with the scene already. I was like, oh, here we go, Angela. Here we go with the lack of presentation. So Cynthia sits down because Cynthia is there to do her job. Oh, yeah. There was no beverage. Yes, there were beverages. She had beverages. She was drinking some wine. I don't know if she offered her guest any. Okay. But there were beverages. So Cynthia is there to spill the tea. Cynthia is working overtime. Cynthia, I hope they're paying you well this season, because if Drew's making half $500,000 for the season, just the strength of off you being a former full-time housewife, you should be making at least what Drew's making, especially because of what you brought this season alone. Last season was you were in there. This season, Cynthia is working overtime. And I prefer Cynthia in the friend role, because if Cynthia gets to the housewife role, she's going to be tore apart by the fans. And might be tore apart by us, too. So I much rather her in the friend role, because she's still bringing a lot. And she's still able to feature a lot of her businesses and things like that. So Cynthia says that Shamea has mentioned some things about her mother's health struggles. And at first, when I saw the preview for this, I was like, why is she talking about Shamea's mother's health struggles when she came to you directly? However, I'm going to defend Cynthia here. We saw an edited version of their conversation. Cynthia's probably thinking, I can talk about this. And also when she talks about the therapy, because even when she was talking about Shamea's therapy, I was like, ooh, this is a little cringy. Like, why are we talking about her health, her mother's health? Why are we talking about her needing therapy? But then I said to myself, we saw an edited version of that conversation. So Cynthia's probably thinking, well, she talked about this on camera, so I can mention it to Angela. And this is why context is important, because I know there's going to be fans like, why is Cynthia being so messy? Why is Cynthia running over there telling the ops, we said this last week, telling the ops about Shamea and what Shamea is going through? Because we have to keep in mind, we watched an edited version of that conversation. For all we know, Shamea did open up on camera about not having time for therapy, her mother having health struggles. We saw in this week's episode, she does mention that her mother has her own health struggles as well. Superstar 7 says it was weirdly edited at that. Wavekey said Cynthia bringing up Shamea's business to her op is messy. But you guys see what I'm saying? You see how based off the edit, we can look at that and be like, oh, that was messy. Because again, when I saw the preview, I was like, oh, that's messy. But if you think about it with context, we didn't see the full conversation. For all we know, and you guys will let me know how you feel. If in that conversation that Shamea had with Cynthia last week, she does mention her mother's health struggles. She does mention the whole conversation about therapy did come up. However, they didn't show it. Does it change it for you? Or the fact that she brought it to Angela, who is her ops, who is not going to have sympathy for Shamea, is it still messy? Ms. Zebu says it's all about perspective. Yeah, I can see that. Celine says Shamea is on an island alone. I will say by the end of the episode, Shamea crying, I kind of felt for her. I did. How about you guys? I felt for her. I was like, ooh. Drew said that K. Michelle didn't fit in. I feel like that's more relative to Shamea. And I think Shamea and K. Michelle's friendship, it was based off of both of them feeling left out of this group. All right? AMP says it's still messy either way. Is it? Is it messy? Look, just your perspective. Foxy says Nene did warn us about Cynthia, though. Y'all not gonna let that go, huh? Something that Nene said years ago. Y'all gonna still run with that. But okay. Let me see. Just Be Natural says I did too. Sonia says, how did Angela want to have something in honor of her mom and maybe the ladies won't start ish, then start a bunch of ish herself? Kay needs to be married to medicine. No, she don't. She's going to get the same thing. And again, that relationship, again, she'd be technically married to medicine, but did she get married for reality television? Tyree says that Angela's determined to have a problem with Shamea. Definitely gives that next week based off the episode. All right. We'll get back to that. So Cynthia mentions that Shamea's mom has some health struggles. She also mentions that she says to Shamea that maybe she needs some therapy. Shamea says she doesn't have time for therapy. And so Angela, this bee needs therapy. And then she talks about the benefits of therapy. It will allow you to say the things that you've been wanting to say. And because she's been very open about going to therapy and couples therapy with Dr. Wendy. Not the Dr. Wendy, another Dr. Wendy, a white Dr. Wendy. Okay. Angela talks about how it's helped her. She says then they start talking about this plan. This is where I'm like, damn, they're really heightening the friend role in honor of Cynthia, because this was like a whole setup for them to talk about this group event that they were going to plan, because Angela wants to do something in honor of her mother. And Cynthia, like, you know what? I did something called the Bailey Bowl. And I was like, here we go. Here's the setup. But good for Cynthia, a friend mentioning something that she's done, and now it's going to be the big group event. But it's going to be in combination with a housewife, which will be Angela. So Angela was like, oh, that sounds great. We can involve Charles because he's done basketball. So that's how they end this particular scene. Then we go to Portia's mother's house. But it's really Portia's house, but she moved her mother in. Do we know where Portia's mother ended up? Is Portia's mother in another wing of Simon's house? Because where's her mother? So apparently, Miss Diane basically made the home didn't look like her anymore. She took down her own personal pictures and things like that because they were trying to sell the home. And apparently the home sold really quickly. Literally, the home sold in 2 weeks, apparently. I remember when it went up for sale. I believe we talked about it here on the channel. So apparently, I'm pretty sure when Portia bought the home, she bought it for under $1 million. So she says that the home now is valued at $2 million. And she said, well, why not sell it when I can get $1 million from the sale? I don't know if that's what she got. I don't know. People can say whatever they want, and Portia is big on, and look, Portia, I know it's your birthday. Calm down. I think there's a narrative, a lot of things we could unpack, but the Bravo PR machine is right behind Portia in painting Portia in a certain light to the world. I'll just say that. We could talk more about it during September 25th at the Kempire After Dark live show here in New York City. Tickets now available. But Portia, again, we saw this recently with Pinky Cole and her finances and things like that. People can show you one thing. Oh, I have this $1 million home. How much money, how much equity is actually in that home? How much do you owe on that home? Are there any liens on the home? I'm not saying that's what's going on with Portia, but I'm just saying you can't take things at face value that everyone says on a reality show. But if it's true, good for Portia. I found it interesting, though. Portia says that she's going to take the equity out of the $7 million home and do what with that? Why would you be taking equity out of the... She didn't really explain. Again, if there is equity, I believe based off of her agreement with Simon, her prenuptial agreement, any equity she takes out of the home, she has to give him a portion, from what I recall. I can't remember everyone's divorce stuff, okay? Quad's mother says, Kempire is a mess. Another wing of Simon's home. Am I wrong? I'm just saying, where did Miss Diane go? Okay. So she said they received an all-cash offer for this home that, remember, she moved in after Cordell, but then she moved her mother in. So she's saying that this is good business for her. She has this $2 million asset. She makes $1 million off of it. Then she has the $7 million asset that she didn't buy herself. That should be noted. Remember? But Simon Dumb, you put it in the prenuptial agreement. Then when you got a divorce, you were fighting her on something that you signed after it took you guys how long to figure out this prenuptial agreement. Like, why would you sign off on that? So I'm not even mad at Portia. Happy birthday to Portia. Happy birthday. Okay? It's probably the smartest business move she's ever made in a marriage. Okay? So look, good for Portia. Let me take a sip. Ooh, Stephanie says, Portia's explanation sounded like robbing Peter to pay Paul. I didn't understand why she would be taking equity out of the $7 million home. Is it in order to pay the bills of the $7 million home? I don't know. Or pay bills for, I don't know. I don't know why she needs to take equity out of the home. Look, there's nothing wrong with doing that. However, she didn't really say. She just says, oh, and then take equity out of the $7 million home. Huh? Why would you take equity out of you just got $1 million from the sale of this home. Why are you taking that out? Okay. But okay, fine. Fine. All right. Today's brought to you by our friends over at MyFitnessPal. A real MyFitnessPal life moment. I was literally on my evening walk this week, and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I should sync my Apple Watch and my health app to MyFitnessPal. That is just one of the 40 apps that you can sync to MyFitnessPal. As I've been using MyFitnessPal for a while now, but I've been really digging in to the premium features recently. It has taught me so much about calorie deficits, but what I loved the most was the fact that I could track my water intake. I can track literally how many steps I've taken for the day. I can track all of my workouts. Everything is connected in one place in the MyFitnessPal app. Your food, your activity, everything in one place. Because at the end of the day, your nutrition is the foundation for everything. Your energy, your sleep, your recovery. But of course, I've always gotten you a discount. Go to podcast.myfitnesspal.com and use code KEMPIRE, all uppercase, for 15% off premium. Trust me, set it up once and you're good. More information on MyFitnessPal will be available in the description. And we're back. Shout out to MyFitnessPal. Again, guys, don't forget to take advantage of the discount while it lasts. Shout out to them for being a sponsor here on the channel. I've been loving using it. I forgot how much I loved using this app because remember, I've been using it for on and off for years. The amount of upgrades that they've made since that time has been tremendous. So be sure to check that out so you can check out the premium features as well. All right, let me say thank you because we had a couple of super chats and anniversaries. Houston Foodie, thank you for being a member for 12 months. Happy anniversary. Everyone wish Houston Foodie a happy anniversary. She says, Angela's event was corny and the OGs are lazy. Y'all thought it was corny? I actually enjoyed the basketball game. But again, I'm wondering am I enjoying the basketball game because of the basketball moment that New York is having? But I enjoyed the basketball game. I thought it was funny and fun. Gadget Girl, thank you so much for I read this one. Thank you so much for the super chat. Nicole Robertson, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Nicole says, Cynthia is never neutral. She's doing Portia's dirty work. They have an alliance. This is exactly why Nene ended the friend contract. I find it so interesting that you guys don't think that Cynthia is being neutral. Because just based off of how I've seen her navigate the conversations, I don't feel like she's throwing anyone really under the bus. But it's so interesting to hear people's perspective, and you're entitled to your perspective. Fit Gal Tia. Fit Gal Tia says, Shamea reminds me of 227 Mary, but Kim Wayne's version. Oh, damn. I wish they would focus on her story with the edit. It's so interesting to see what production decides to keep in and take out. All right, so back to Portia's house. So y'all can figure out Portia's math later, okay? Portia says she's planning an international trip for the girls to Scotland because she was on Traitors. Phaedra was on Traitors as well. So they're planning this trip to Scotland. They invited all the ladies. First of all, sidebar, rewinding. So there's a big picture of Miss Diane that normally is sitting in that room. How do you guys feel about pictures a picture of yourself in someone's home? I'm not against it. I'm not surprised that Miss Diane has a big old picture of herself. But at the same time, I'm just sort of like, is it a picture with, it would be hilarious if it's a picture of her with a big old pepperoni pizza going in her mouth. She's a beautiful woman. I just have to say that Portia, she's going to age just like her mama, beautiful. But how do you guys feel about that? I just realized in my own home, I don't have any pictures of me up. But if it was like a piece of art, someone gifted me a piece of art of myself, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't have any pictures of myself up. But okay. I always find it interesting. I don't mind it if it's art. But if it's just a picture of you with pizza in your mouth, then I'm like, all right. Miss Parker says pepperoni pizza on a white couch. That would be hilarious. Can someone draw that and then send it to me? Now that I'd hang up in my home. Okay. Maloney says, but that's her mother. Why not? But why not? What are you talking about, Maloney? Mr. Melon Magic says, I have a few pictures of myself, yet you come to the internet and we've never seen a picture of you. Lawson says, Kempire, it was a meat lover's pizza. You know what? All right, let me focus, because if I read all y'all comments, I will never get through this. So Portia brings up Dennis bringing over the engagement ring. The more I see Portia talk about it, the more I don't believe it. You guys almost had me convinced that maybe she was hurt by it. But the more she talks about it, the more I'm like, I don't know if I 100% believe that she was triggered. Her bringing this up to her mom feels like this is her storyline. She's leaning into it. But okay, she didn't really show that much of emotion to her mother about it. So she tells her mom that Dennis brought it back. And then she made it seem like Dennis is waiting for her to decide. Like Dennis was an option. I did a video over the weekend talking about Dennis in the comment section, because he's always in the comment section, basically saying for everyone that keeps wishing that they'll get back together, he's saying that it's never going to happen. But okay. But she says that it feels like Dennis is waiting on Portia to decide between the woman, between Mike, or between him. But didn't Portia say that you have a whole other woman that you're living with? So I'm not understanding. So he's waiting on you to decide on him? Okay. But Portia says that right now she's choosing herself. Okay. All right. I wonder when we're going to get to the part where her and Sway are in this love affair. Okay. I don't know. I just felt like in that moment, in that conversation with her mom, I wasn't convinced. I'm back to not being convinced that this was something that was really triggering to her. I feel like this is all a scheme and a plot. This must be what K. Michelle was sensing. But K. Michelle, what the plot wasn't about you. It was about these cameras. Celine says that Dennis wants his peach too. Something about these Atlanta men. They all got it. Hey, Shanice. Shanice says, hi, Camp. It's been so long since I caught you live. It's a nice rainy day here, chilling with my daughter, watching you. Hey, and her daughter. It's about to be rainy here, too, in New York. It's been, like, gloomy all morning, but it's supposed to be, like, bad weather later on today. So everyone stay safe out there in these streets. All right. Sidebar. Did Portia stop doing her YouTube channel? I'm assuming that she has because you guys would have sent me clips and all kinds of things. All right. I need to know, because you know some of these reality stars, they come to YouTube for a hot second and then they leave y'all. This is why y'all need to stay loyal to us over here. All right. All right. Guys, we have almost 1,500 of you here for our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend, but do me a favor, like the video. 1,500 of you here on multiple platforms, but not even 500 likes. I don't get it, but I'm just here to remind y'all. Very Fiery, thank you so much. I love the fact that now we can see the little animated super chats. Thank you so much, Very Fiery, for the super chat. We appreciate your support and for being a member. B Cutie says, dude got a whole girlfriend. That should be a question that comes up at the reunion. They should be filming the reunion this week. I'm not sure if they're filming it here. I'm assuming they're filming it here in New York. I think it's some tea in regards to Atlanta, but I'm going to sit on that. I want to sit on that. All right. Let me see. Thank you so much, Very Fiery, for the super chat. Let me get back to my notes because the more I go on these tangents, the more I get lost. Okay. So she talked to her mom about Dennis. She says right now she's not choosing Dennis. She's not choosing Sway. She's not choosing Mike. Seems like she's choosing a lot of Mike this season, though. We're getting a lot of Mike. We're on episode 12, and we've seen Mike more than we've seen Sway. All right. All right. So she says she's choosing herself. So then Kelli meets with her financial advisor. Shout out to those of you that were in the comment section or in the clip that I posted about Kelli and her confessional look. Okay, I still have the confessional look here for you. Exhibit A. Okay, I already told you I don't understand this look. Why are we seeing grease stains? But I also said to you guys, I understand that you got to grease up latex in order to get in there and also to keep it shiny. But I also said to you, then this was very lazy because we've seen other housewives like Erica Jane wear latex on a confessional and we never saw grease stains like this. Okay, this is very lazy and very sloppy. At this particular point, Kelli, your stylist, they need to show themselves. Kelli's new stylist, show yourself. Is it Kelli? Is Kelli the new stylist? Show yourself, Kelli. Who is the new stylist? Paris Shay's over here doing all the girls. Paris just said that they're going to be styling 3 of the housewives at this reunion. I'm assuming it's going to be Portia and Cynthia. Who else is Paris going to style? Is it going to be K. Michelle? Go for Paris. Go for Paris. So I don't know who's styling Kelli, but they should be fired. K Unique says Erica Jane would never. I agree. I don't know. Look, I don't know. So Kelli meets with her financial advisor. Look, as someone that has a business, as someone that just had a meeting with my accountant, I hate those meetings. Just because that's their job. They're there to hold you accountable, okay? So we're going through the finances. Oh, what is this? What is this? I don't remember what that was. I'm sure it was good, though. No, you know what I mean? But that's why they're there. I hate the meetings, but it's important to have them. Apparently, this is her first meeting with this financial advisor, okay? So she mentions all of her finances, Nana's Chicken and Waffles. The main location is making about $75,000 a month. The new location, she's saying upwards of $15,000 a month, but I feel like she was exaggerating that. So then he wants to know about her personal expenses. Car payments. I don't have a car payment. Is a month a lot? I feel like that's a lot for a car payment. But I guess maybe not for the type of car that she has. For those that can wait, honestly, at this particular point, girl, you should just bought a car. $2,000 a month, plus for insurance about $600. And here's the thing, as someone that has these meetings with financial, I wouldn't be surprised if she is supposedly downplaying some of the price points, right? Even her expenses when it comes to her clothes, I don't believe it's $8,500 a month. We'll get there. Oh, that is a lot? Okay, you guys are saying it is a lot. Okay. All right. That's a lot. A lot of you are saying it's a lot for those that have car notes. Yep. Wow. Everyone's saying that's a lot. Okay, Coco said it's a lot. Okay. Jess says, yep, dear Lord. Jess says, dear Lord, yes, that's a lot. Okay, so I'm not crazy. In New York, we don't really, and people do have cars, but it's not really needed. Okay. So she's paying $2,000 a month for her car. Let's talk about her other personal expenses. She's got a housekeeper. I'm not going to tell her she shouldn't have one. She's got 3 daughters. Oh, wait, she has 4 daughters, right? 3 daughters, 4 daughters. She's got 4 daughters. But we can't count the older one. All right. So she's spending $2,500. This is a month, y'all. $2,500 a month on makeup and lashes. $3,000 a month on hair. Let me just show you a picture of Kelli. Let me just show you a picture of Kelli as we do this, okay? Hold on, where is it? Let me just show you a picture of Kelli as we do. This is a Facetune picture of Kelli. Let me show you the current. This look, this wet and wavy look and grease stains latex outfit look, okay? Okay. Wait, Shalene says, hold on, Shalene. I need to see your comment. Shalene or Shalee or Chalet? Chalet? Hold on. Let me bring up your comment because you say this. Unless it's a luxury car, if it was $100,000, then $2,000 a month is normal. I did a lot of lemon law work before and saw a lot of monthly payments like this. Is her car, there's a Range Rover. Is that normal for a Range Rover? How much is a Range Rover? All right, back to this, y'all, because, again, we are digressing. Back to her reunion. Not her reunion. Look, Lord, I hope not. I hope not. I really hope not. All right, so back to Kelli's expenses with meeting with her financial advisor. $2,500 for makeup and lashes. You see those lashes? $3,000 for hair. This is a month, y'all. Then she says $8,500 a month in clothes. And mind you, this is just an estimate. This is not the exact amount of money she's probably spending on clothes. So already that is about $13,000 a month she's spending on glam. She's spending about and this to me is probably $15,000. $13,000 a month she's spending on glam. Kelli Potter. Okay? Miss Parker says, Kempire, we can't help but go on tangents when we see the oil spill. Lux Living for Less. With that name, okay? First of all, your avatar picture looks more luxurious than this. I'm sorry, Kelli, but damn. No. 5 wisdoms. Is that not include? That's not including the kids. This is just Kelli's personal expenses. Okay? Kempire, you are too funny. She spent $13,000 on this? Look, on this? In my Wendy Acefo voice. 13, and again, that's an estimate, a rough estimate. She's spending on clothes, hair, and glam. All right? Cha's wigs. That's what production labeled it. I'm assuming that Chacha's dye and stuff like that. Chacha's wigs is $500 a month. She's like, I hope you're not telling me I need to get rid of the dog. No, but maybe the things that you're doing to the dog, the mangy looking dog. So Kelli admits that when she was married to her husband, she didn't have to think about bills. She didn't have to pay bills or anything like that. Now she's got to pay bills. Where's the money going? I think this is a front. Is she washing money? Are you laundering money? I'm being facetious. Okay? I'm being facetious. OMG Steph says Range Rovers vary in price. She probably has a P400 or a P550. Those are 120 to 140K vehicle. Okay. then it would make sense for $2,000 a month plus $600 insurance. Okay. I just don't understand when we think about the amount of money that she's spending, and we just watched her get 70 something thousand worth of teeth done. Couldn't that money really have? I feel it's so unself-aware when you are having financial issues and you're getting your teeth done, because that $70,000 could have been put towards a down payment on a new apartment and pay for months ahead. It could be paying for, not even paying for your tacky clothes or your chopped up lashes. Okay. All that aside, okay, you could be taking that 70 something thousand dollars, which we don't believe because the streets were saying that was a sponsored post. Okay. Felicia says that was a $70,000 lie, Kempire. But why? Why would you lie like that? Because, and if I was dating Kelli, if I dated women, if I was dating Kelli, don't use my name in a lie like that. Okay. Don't use my name in a lie like that. And then in the same breath, talking about how you're struggling, paying other things. Don't use my name in a lie like that. Don't be saying, oh, my man Jarvis paid for my new teeth, yet I can't pay. I have to go live in my friend's apartment because I got to run out of this apartment because I can't afford to go move somewhere else on my own. It doesn't make sense. But okay. TJ says free cha-cha. I agree. Free cha-cha. Cha-cha will look so much better in someone else's home. Okay. Exactly. Zelene says the girls need clothes, and what does she spend them on? Spend on them. We didn't even go through that because it's giving Dorit. But did y'all see Boy George slamming Dorit on social media? Boy George did not like Dorit's Father's Day post, and she's being dragged up and down this internet because Boy George said, "Not today, Satan." Boy George is Team PK on this one. Okay. All right, we'll get back to Kelli and her terrible fashion choices and finances in a second. All right, so K. Michelle goes in for a medical follow-up because you know she recently had an issue. She went in for some more surgery. We know that she has the silicone in her body that will never leave her body. So she's had apparently, how many surgeries? She's had 15 surgeries, and she's been having these surgeries since she was 35. She's now, 40-something years old? Okay. So she's asking the doctor about the next steps after her recent surgery. She says she's been dealing with a lot of surgery since she was 35. She reminds us about she might have to have more surgeries. And she wants to do more in regards. She wants to kind of either add implants or something to fix her figure. I don't know what she's fixing. And maybe it's something without her clothes on. But from what we could see, your shape is fine. And people said that your shape was fine before you decided to put in the butt shots. But the doctor says, no, I wouldn't suggest doing implants because then you'll end up with the same issue that you had before. So he then mentions to her this something called all clay or something like that mimics human body fat. If you were in K. Michelle's situation, would you want to go under the knife if you didn't have to? Again, your body, your choice. But I just feel like because of what you've gone through and now you're considered a chronic pain patient, I'm just like, I don't think I would be wanting to do any of that stuff to my body, especially when there's silicone running throughout my body. I'm not dealing with that. Coca says it's called body dysmorphia. Probably, but I'm not here to diagnose anybody, but maybe. Especially what she's been through and the amount of surgeries that she's gone through. But fast forward, remember she was on Watch What Happens Live. She already was going under the knife right before the reunion. So her body, her choice. I really stand by that. You want to do that to your body? Do that to your body. Okay. But I just feel like with what you've gone through, and if you're a chronic pain patient, I'm surprised the doctor, look, that's the thing. Not all doctors are made the same either. Because as a doctor, I'm like, are you sure you want to do something like that? Okay. But maybe he doesn't see anything wrong with it. I'm not a doctor, so I can't advise anybody on this. But that's me. Aunt Sean says it would be a strong no for me. Especially when this entire season you did a whole series on this in regards to the issues that you've had with your body. I found it to be interesting. I forgot where she said this. She said maybe in an interview that she never had that person criminally charged that was doing the butt shots in the basement. That's where she had gotten hers done. Here's the thing. She made it seem like she was some saint for not having that person criminally charged. No, actually, I think you're terrible because you should not necessarily have that person criminally charged, but if you don't hold that person accountable, that person probably could still be doing stuff like this or did it to more people after. So you're not necessarily a saint for not having that person arrested for doing what they did. Because that's bad. Now you got to live with that for forever. But okay. But maybe there's more to that story because there's always more to the story when it comes to K. Michelle. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Because this is a scene I am not too sure about. I don't understand the Angela and Amari of it all. Because I'm not sure if it's the editors that are chopping and screwing this storyline, or Angela has come up with this storyline herself and it's just not making sense. Because this is why people thought that Angela did not approve of her daughter marrying a woman. Because the way that you guys are talking about the story, it's not in full sentences. Where's Drew? It's not in full sentences. So what exactly are you mad about? You were blindsided that she got married. Understandable. But then, and here's the thing too. Now I feel differently in regards to Amari telling her siblings. Because no, Amari shouldn't have to be forced to tell the siblings. If this woman has been around for a very long time, she should be, it was Pride Month. She should be able to come out on her own. Amari has her own issues, which I found to be interesting because I feel like the kids of today, like the 20-something-year-olds, they're a little bit more open-minded when it comes to sexuality and fluidity and things like that. You would have thought that Amari was like 40-something years old. I feel like a 40-something-year-old woman would be more like, oh, I don't want to come out. If I was with a guy, I would tell my siblings, but I'm with a girl. I was like, what kind of antiquated thinking is this, Amari? Did you get this from Angela? Because I wonder if there's more to it. Look, on social media last week, after last week's episode, people were calling Angela possibly homophobic because we didn't get the context of the situation. Her daughter basically said, no, that's not true. Her mother has been supported. This partner has been around since they were teenagers. So fine. I don't understand Amari's logic for not telling her siblings. Again, her choice. I'm not saying that she should have to tell her siblings, but I also implore Amari to know that your siblings in 2026, especially in 2026, like I said last week, growing up, we definitely didn't see two male parents or two female parents at the school. However, in 2026, you are definitely seeing same-sex parents at the school now more than ever. So I'm sure the kids already know. Avon already knows. Avon was sitting there. Shout out to the cameraman. Avon was right by the stairs hearing the whole situation. So Avon already found out. And that's the thing, too. Y'all think y'all keeping secrets from your children, and they know a lot more of what's going on than y'all give them credit. So Avon over there listening. He's, here we go. Look, here we go. Oh, she's married? He probably already knew before this, if we're going to be honest. They probably knew before Amari knew she was gay. You know what I mean? The V-Light says her siblings aren't dumb. And Jay-Z says the kids probably don't care. It was very clear to me when Amari was talking about it, Amari's the one with the issue. And so for those of you that are not a part of the LGBT Ligga Bigga Ticka crew, there are some people in our community that have their own issues with coming out, even in 2026. And they have their own insecurities about their sexuality. And as soon as the producer asked, I was like, why exactly wouldn't you want to share with them? And would you share with them if you were with a man? And she says yes. She says yes. So I was like, oh, so you're the one with the issue. You're the one with the issue. It's not your mom. You're the one, which is fine. Again, I don't feel like she needs to be forced out the closet to her siblings. But I also said I felt like if you're going to have that conversation with your siblings, I think Angela should still be there. All right. Kevin says Angela gets homophobic vibes. Sorry, not vibes. Oh, damn. According to Amari, that's not what it is. Okay. Dr. Wendy, not Dr. Wendy Estefo, Angela's therapist, says that Dr. Wendy believes that Amari should tell her siblings herself. Fine. You got it from a clinician. Amari says she isn't ready to tell her siblings. And she says to her mom, how about we talk about why I wasn't comfortable telling you? And Angela did not want to hear that. And that's why I was kind of like, why didn't she feel comfortable wanting to come to you and share that with you? I felt like that was the issue that I wanted to get into, because everything else that they were talking about was irrelevant. It was more so like, why did Amari not feel comfortable coming to tell you, even though you've known this young lady for many years? I just don't understand what it is. Oh, do y'all notice Amari's leg was shaking? I was like, oh, is she about to flip out? Amari got a little bit of like an attitude situation going on there. So when Angela said to her that she comes across spoiled and entitled, I was like, I got that vibe from Amari from last season. And the fact that Angela points out, even though Amari says that she pays her own bills and things like that, Angela was saying, you want to act grown here, but then come here and be the child. And I said, there's more to that Amari's willing to tell, because Amari is now trying to make it seem like I pay my own bills. And Angela didn't deny it. But at the same time, I was like, wait, there's more here. And I feel like that's the issue here. We're not getting the full story. And I don't know if it's a production issue or if it's an Amari and Angela issue. And hence why people are coming up with their own conclusions about this situation. Like, what? So can we dig deeper into, and even the therapy session that they had, did y'all get anything from that? I'm like, I still don't know if I understand. So y'all going to blame the miscommunication between each other because your mother died? No, you guys, the situation happened before your mother died last season where you weren't able to communicate. So I don't understand. Winter said, what little job Amari got? You know what? Oh, Superstar says, I don't think Angela's homophobic. Claire, I don't think she's homophobic because this woman has been around a long time. I feel like I changed my mind on that. I'll get back to you. Hold on. A Superstar says, I don't think Angela's homophobic, but I think Amari isn't invested enough in her family to share her personal life with them. I get the impression that she doesn't like her family. Could be. But the way that Angela paints it seems like they're super close, and she was blindsided by the fact that she didn't tell her mom, that she didn't tell her. But I feel like Angela tried to sidestep why Amari didn't tell her initially, because Amari said, why don't we talk about why I didn't feel comfortable enough telling you? And Angela did not want to go there. And then we started talking about Amari being spoiled and entitled. I definitely think that she's spoiled and entitled on some level. And I definitely think there's more to, oh, I pay my own bills. Y'all know kids like this. Oh, I pay my own bills. Do you really? Because now I'd want to unpack that a little bit more. Do you pay your own bills? Wasn't she living in a house with her aunt and stuff like that Angela was paying for? I don't know if she still does. I'm assuming not, because now she's a married woman. So I'm like, just based off of what Angela was saying in this conversation, said to me, and like, I don't know if you really do pay your own bills completely. But again, my frustration with this storyline, I'm not sure if 100% I believe it. I'm not 100% sure they're giving us the full story. Hence why people are jumping to their own conclusions. And this is why I said last week, even when they spoke out and they were saying, no, Angela's not homophobic, I said, then there's someone to blame. I can't blame the audience for having that feeling, because so what is it? Because you guys are not giving us full sentences. Okay? All right. In regards to my changing my mind, I will say this. And I'm not saying that Angela's homophobic. What I'm saying is Angela could have known about this young lady for years and known that there's been a romantic relationship between her daughter and this woman. It doesn't mean that the minute you decide to marry someone, it doesn't change your parents' feelings about the relationship, because now it's like it's real. Now you've involved the law. You see all the time. Just say, I'm not saying that she is, but here we are. But okay, before we move on, shout out to Factor for being a sponsor for today. Okay, I get it. It's not a new year, but it can still be a new you. As we've partnered with Factor many times, and this is no different. But let me paint a picture for you. Hunger strikes and you're exhausted. I know it, especially on a busy day. There's something healthy in your fridge or pantry that you should be making, but you don't have it in you. Relatable, right? For me, eating healthy isn't a willpower problem. It's a setup problem. Until I found Factor. As I have a busy schedule, sometimes there's breaking news and I do not have the time in me to cook that meal or prepare for that meal. With Factor, I'm hitting my nutrition goals this season without the planning, grocery shopping, or cooking. What I also love about Factor is that you're getting great quality meals, dietitian approved meals. Factor has meals built around your goals, whether that's weight loss, overall nutrition, more protein, or GLP-1 support. For strength and workout recovery, check out Factor's Muscle Pro collection. As I've mentioned many times before, Factor meals are crafted with functional ingredients from lean proteins, colorful veggie, whole foods, and healthy fats. Factor bans 175 plus ingredients, no artificial colors, no sweeteners, no high fructose corn syrup, and no refined seed oils. And most importantly, convenience. Ready in 2 minutes, Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers straight to your door so you have more time for everything you love this spring. Head to factormeals.com/Kempire50 off and use code Kempire50 off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for more details. More details on Factor and your discounts will be available in the description. Thanks, Factor. And we're back. Shout out to Factor. I have to say, I was seeing some Factor meals the other day, and I was like, I need to order some more. That's the one thing I love about Factor. I've tried so many different meal services, and when you warm them up, they just don't have the same quality or taste. That's not my experience with Factor. So shout out to Factor. Again, more information on Factor. Our sponsor for today's Real Housewives of Atlanta recap will be available in the description. Guys, keep liking the video. We're almost at 700 likes. I will be dropping the call-in link for members first, but live chat, once we get to a certain amount of likes, I'll drop it for you guys as well. Don't forget to join our mailing list. I sent out a mailer on Sunday. You're missing out. You're missing out on exclusive announcements. That's where we announced our first live show. Not our first live show, but our next live show, which is happening on September 25th. Head on over to thekempire.com/join. Also, guys, don't forget, you can also watch us. If you don't want to watch on YouTube or through the app, you can watch on our website. So go to thekempire.com and click the watch button. You can watch there, okay? And again, you can go through the website and check out all of the new things that are happening over there. But join our mailing list. You guys are missing out on a lot, and a lot that's coming up. Just saying, you might want to watch, okay? All right, back to this. So let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Oh, one thing that I also wanted to say about this too, based off of what Amari says in regards to it looks like she's uncomfortable with being gay or lesbian. I'm not sure how she identifies. So if she's uncomfortable, I can understand her not telling her mom that she got married. But we shall see. We shall see. We had quite a few super chats that came in. Let me say thank you to Shadrika. Shadrika says, thank you, Shadrika. I was confused because the conversation was him giving back the right she asked for. Move away from me with this. In regards to Portia? Okay. GC, thank you so much for being a member for 11 months. GC says, Angela is still mad because aunt and grandma were told. Were they told before her? I don't think so. Annie, oh wait, maybe they were. I can't remember. Annie says, some young people think if you Zelle or Cash App them money and I pay my bills out of my account, then I do pay my own bills. I feel like there might be more to that story, and I felt like Angela was just letting her have it, even though I don't believe 100% that Amari is not getting help from her parents, which is okay. I'm okay with that. All right. Viewer viewing, thank you so much for the super chat. Viewer viewing says, thanks to Bask and Lather, your beard and Nick's gear is giving ultimate zaddy vibes. Also, it's time to start donating, shaming like you did last year, mimicking RHOA season 16. I made my donation. Viewer viewing, apparently you're right. Guys, viewer viewing is talking about our Pride Month fundraiser that we're trying to raise $10,000 for. Viewer viewing saying I need to start shaming y'all. All right. Viewer viewing, thank you so much for the super chats. We appreciate your support. Pride Month is here, y'all. Go donate. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. So don't send a super chat here because 100% of that doesn't go to me. All right, only a portion of that goes to me. All right, and you can check out any of our last videos, full-length videos, shorts, and things like that. There'll be links available. If you're watching a replay of this, it'll be available somewhere around here as well. Shout out to everyone that's already donated. Like if you're viewing, we appreciate it. Know the Queen. Thank you so much for the super chat. Know the Queen says, I feel like Amari not wanting to tell her mom is tied to her mindset that it would be normal for her to be married to a man. I think there's some unchecked diet homophobia there from both of them. I agree. Because remember, Amari's 25 years old. Where did you get this thinking from? Is it from Charles Oakley? Maybe. Look, I don't know. Like, where did you get this thinking from? Like, why? Again, I know so many young people that don't think like that in 2026. Not to say that there aren't, because look at Turning Point USA. So there are some young people that are growing up in a different way. But she's in Atlanta. I'm like, where is this coming from? All right. But it's okay. It's all right. That's something for her to talk about in therapy. Mr. Melon Magic, thank you for the super chat and for being a member, says, I think Angela was supportive, but I still didn't want her to be gay. Oh, that's what I was just saying. She may have evolved since then. I think Angela has a problem with the wife. She said she doesn't. On social media, she says she doesn't have a problem with the wife, but who knows? Look, who knows? All right, let's move on from there. We spent way too much time on that conversation. But no, I can't say that because, especially in Pride Month, we should be having these conversations because I know some of you, because we have a large heterosexual female community. So some of you might have children that are coming out, have come out. And you might want to know how to navigate those conversations and how you should react and be supportive and keep it an open dialogue. But shout out to places like the center that we're trying to raise money for. They provide a safe space that provides therapy. They provide all kinds of just great community efforts for children that have been turned away by their families. So shout out to the center. That's why it's so important to support organizations like the center, because our administration, the current administration, isn't supporting these organizations anymore. So they rely on us as a community to raise money. Okay, Winter says, did Angela fix that nose? It looks different. Remember last season she said she did something, I don't know if it was Botox or something, to make some changes to it. So she did do something. All right, so then we get these little transition scenes. K. Michelle is meeting with her manager and team. She's talking about her country album. She's talking about she always feels like she has to defend herself. That manager, he manages a couple of other housewives too. Did he manage Nene at one point? I can't remember, but I've seen his face multiple times. He manages a couple of housewives. I found it to be interesting that he's managing K. Michelle because I'm like, does he have experience in the music plays? I don't know. But maybe he does. I don't know his resume. But I just found it because I've seen that he's managed a few housewives. But okay. Phaedra. I don't know if I'm glad. This is why I rewatched the episode, y'all. Because all of y'all love to say Phaedra got all the jobs, Phaedra's this, Phaedra's that, blah, 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 blah. Did you pay attention to her meeting with Willie Watkins? A lot of people are going to skim over that scene and not pay attention to what was said. Phaedra literally says that she wants to work with him again. Yeah, because she has not been working in the funeral business since becoming a funeral director. So she just filmed that scene with Willie Watkins. She hasn't been there. She hasn't been working. She don't own Willie Watkins' funeral home. I'd like to work with you again. Go and rewind the tape to what she said in that moment. See, some of y'all gonna skip over that moment and completely ignore it. No, we caught her. We caught her in another lie. All right? KSH Pittman says, Phaedra has not been working. look, her life has not changed. She hasn't had financial issues, but so many people love to like, oh, she's a funeral director. She's making tons of money in the funeral business and blah, blah. No, she not. No, she not. The V Life says, I missed that. Yeah, because it was such a quick little moment. Angela says, I clocked that, Kempire. Okay. She literally go back and watch the scene with Willie. It was a very quick scene. She's, I'd like to work with you again. So what you been doing? Sanita says, I caught that too. Fake Tra. I'm not mad about it, but so many people try to say, oh, she's a funeral director. That's how she makes her money and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, where's Angela Stanton? Coco says, I think Apollo went to jail for both of them. All right, let's move on from there. All right, Pinky, her daughter is so adorable. Diella, so adorable. So she had this big event. I think these little transition scenes were probably a lot longer, but they just put it in there to touch on different things that they didn't touch on. So we get to see the celebration that Pinky holds for her daughter's campaign. And Diella she got attitude, okay? Cute. So Shamea's at the nail salon with her mom. She looks so much like her mom. The more I see them together, I'm like, oh my gosh, she really looks a lot like her mom. So Shamea talks about Angela and this Bailey Bowl that she's supposedly having. And she talks about her issues with Angela, but she's with everything that's been going on with Shamea's mom's health. The fact that she lost her mom, I can't even imagine losing my mom. So I'm going to go, but I'm not going to cause any issues. It was like a very quick scene. But this is her just confirming, I'm going to go. They make a joke about the trip that they're about to make, and the manicure says, make sure you pack a book bag or something so you don't not have any clothes with you. Because you remember that happened on her last trip. All right. Drew and Portia meet up. I thought this was a cute, funny scene. Portia says that she's tired of being in survival mode. Okay? Drew brings up with the blogs, because at this particular point, this is the back and forth between Simon Gobadia and Portia on social media, and Simon basically banning Portia from Nigeria. Portia says, I don't care about citizenship. When I can just go visit Nigeria on my own. And she said that on social media as well. But she's, you know what? The good thing about any time I'm going viral, I end up making a lot of money for Go Naked Hair. She said, one day I made $50,000. Okay, Portia. All right. The fact that she's talking so much about Go Naked Hair this season, and now she's utilizing her cast members to help promote this, I'm sure Go Naked Hair is doing very well right now. Okay, I don't know what it was doing before when she wasn't on the show, but I definitely think it's doing right now. Okay? She says it actually helps her business. So this is where she introduces, and I'm guessing we're probably going to get a Cynthia and Drew photo shoot for their new hairline, probably. Okay. So Portia says to Drew, I know you've been going through what you've been going through, and I think that we should partner and you should have your own hairline with me. So Drew says that she does have her reservations about mixing business with friendship, especially with everything that her and Portia went through last season. But she's, you know what? We'll have our teams have conversations and figure out the logistics. Here's what I can appreciate about Drew. Some people will say Drew's being pretentious by always telling people to go to her team. But no, that's why you have a team. She is the talent. And as someone that has to be the talent sometimes, has to be the negotiator sometimes, even when you have a manager, even when you have accountants, even when you have lawyers, that's what they're there for. But they don't always necessarily have your best interests, even though they're supposed to. But I understand why she's, especially to preserve the friendship, this is why it's important to have the team. Have our teams figure it out and negotiate what that's going to look like so our friendship isn't affected. So I don't take her saying, let our teams talk. That's what they're there for. And she does have a team. She does have a team, okay? All right? Angela says, that's how you handle business. I agree. Okay, all right. All-Star Queen, is that some Go Naked Hair? All-Star Queen says, Portia hair stays sold out. I worked with someone who purchased it. Beautiful hair. I'm sure. Congratulations to Portia and her $10 million business. Okay. All right. And Winter says, Drew's been in the business. It has to be that way. I agree. I 100% agree, but you know how the internet would be like, Drew's always acting pretentious. Why people gotta go through your team? Because that's how some of y'all like to do business. Y'all want to do business on a grin and a handshake. And then all of a sudden, a year later, you're like, oh my gosh, where my money at? And look, there are some people, look at the situation with Black. That it was probably on a grin and a handshake, those business deals were made, and now those people are out of thousands and thousands of dollars. Just saying, especially in Atlanta, y'all better be careful. Just saying. All right, moving on. So they're eating chicken wings. They're having a good old time. They had the little green shades and then the chicken wings. Interesting combination. So Portia's teaching Drew how to eat the chicken wings. Girl, the African brothers and sisters would be shaking their heads at you right now. Drew says, oh, you're banned right now. Drew is quick, okay? Drew is quick. Houston Fury says Black is on the run. Black is on the run. All right. Exactly. Allie says Kelli and Rosie with the IG post. Yeah, they never did proper business. For those that don't know who she's talking about, she's talking about Real Housewives of Rhode Island, which we'll recap tomorrow. No, I'm not going to even ask you. What do y'all think of part 1 of the Rhode Island reunion? Tiara says this was a cute scene. It was. I thought it was a cute scene as well. I like the fact that they're getting along. And I think Portia does too, because it didn't bode well for her last season. All right. Let's get back to Kelli and her finances. So Kelli is staying at one of Shamea's properties, okay? And now she's going to look at different homes and things like that. I feel like this was just a scene because clearly if your budget is $4,000 a month for this rental, why is your real estate agent bringing you to a space that it's a 7K? I would be looking at my agent like, are you crazy? It's one thing if you're going to bring someone to maybe 5K, but why you bring me to a 7K? I feel like this was just to have a scene about her finances. For those that live in Atlanta, I felt like 7K for a 3-bedroom, 5-bath. Why do you need 5 bathrooms? But I guess it means a bunch of women. So yeah, everyone gets a bathroom. And there's a bunch of them, right? There's the 4 daughters and Kelli. So yeah, 5 bathrooms. That's perfect. That elevator looked a little shaky though. That elevator looked a little shaky. Literally shaky. All right. Exactly. Blanche says attacking Drew last season was unpopular with fans, so she apologized. Veteran housewives know how to adapt for the sake of the show. Yeah, she also didn't want to smoke. Tiara says the agent just wanted to be on camera. I don't think so. I'm not going to dog out the agent because I think at the end of the day, this falls on Kelli. Kelli wanted some camera time. Kelli needed a storyline. She couldn't film with her daughters. We've been talking about this. But for those of you that are in Atlanta, exactly, 5 Wisdom says only 3 bedrooms for $7K a month in Atlanta. Look, in New York City, you'd be lucky to get the amount of space that was there for that price. But that's New York City. And yes, Atlanta has definitely become it's a hot spot. But I felt like that's for a 3-bedroom? I don't know. Here go K. K says the twins should share a room. I know the twins are like, excuse me? They want their own room. But I guess they are sharing a room. It's only 3 bedrooms. Kelli gets her own bedroom. She has 4 daughters. One daughter's away at college, but she's going to come home during the summers. Oh, really? Kathy says the property looks similar to the one B. Simone viewed and purchased on one of these reality shows. I saw it when she was on that reality show. What reality show was that she was looking at a property? It wasn't Ladies Who List that she was on, right? I felt like we recapped it and talked about it. Does someone remember? But I don't think it was this property. It didn't look like this property. Which says they could share rooms. Y'all know what? Leave those twins alone. And Mr. Melamagic says, that's why I couldn't live in New York City, especially a brokey like me. Look, this is why Mayor Mamdani is trying to make it more affordable for New Yorkers so they don't ending up to have to leave New York. Katrina says Alpharetta is an expensive part of Georgia. Oh, is that where they were? Yeah. All right. It was, okay, Ladies Who List. It was Ladies Who List. I remember, I was like, we recapped that show, and I know we talked about it. Who said? Yeah, we did talk about the breaking news that Clive Davis has passed away. I'll talk about it later, maybe tomorrow. All right. Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Nicole says, shoot, I paid $2,200 for a 1-bedroom in the DMV. So, damn. Michelle says Alpharetta is very high end. Okay. Look, regardless, $7,000, although in other parts of Atlanta, you probably could get more for that amount. In comparison to what you would get here in New York for $7,000, that's still a lot. But that's over her price point. That's over Kelli, the one in the grease-stained dress here. It's over her budget, okay? It's definitely over her budget. So we get to look at this property. So the agent tells Kelli that she's going to probably have to suffer because Kelly's saying, I'm having issues, concerns about my finances right now. So the agent says, well, you know what? You might have to suffer for a little bit. Kelli says she wants to provide the similar lifestyle that her kids are used to. Then maybe stop spending so much money on yourself. Because I feel like if this is even true, if you're spending $13,000 a month on your glam, a lot of that, you could do half of that and still look way better than you look now with the proper styling and still have money left over for the kids. You know what I mean? So it's not making sense to me, whatever Kelly's trying to offer us here. And then I thought to myself, let's say she did end up getting the $7K a month place. Instead of getting new teeth, your man, I know he didn't pay for it because we know now it's a sponsored post. But she said to us that he paid for it. That $70K that he spent there, he could have paid for this place, dropped the security, and been able to pay for a couple of months to cover you guys for the next couple of months. I don't think that would be a smart decision because God forbid you guys end up breaking up, then you're stuck with the $7K a month. Unless he pays for it for a year, if he's got it like that. But all right. Hold on. In Miami, King of Kings says, I paid $3,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath here in Miami. Really? I'm surprised because Miami's expensive too. $3K for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath? Definitely can't get that in New York. I guess it depends on what part of New York. So maybe it depends on the part of Miami too. But damn. Sounds good, right? Look, sounds good. Anyway. Delicious says, Kelli looks a mess on her best day. Fire your glam. Yeah. I don't even know if she has glam. Have we seen her glam this season? I know we did. They're in this picture. Please hold. They're in this picture. There goes her glam. There goes one of the culprits. The guy that does her hair. Who's the guy that put her in or the woman that put her in the Tom Ford t-shirt? All right. Chef Lorraine says that Kelli needs to get a refund. She does. Look, she does. All right. Before I move on, I am going to drop the call-in link for a team for Royal Court members and senior royals. That's the top of the tier of our memberships here on the channel. All right. Let me actually... Please hold y'all as I do this. As I'm doing that, guys, be sure to like today's videos. An easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire Watch What Happens Live. How did Angela do on Watch What Happens Live last night, y'all? Okay. Let me just drop this here. All right. And live chat, we'll drop the call link for you guys, too, once we get to... I think at least 1,000 likes. We're almost at 2,000 people in the building. All right. And Team KEMPIRE members, I'll drop the call link for you guys in a moment. Okay? In a moment. All right. And for those that are watching on YouTube, be sure to let us know how you'd rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta in the live chat poll. But if you're watching on Twitch, shout out to those of you watching on Twitch. Apparently, we're streaming in 4K, so the quality of the video and audio is so much better there. So make sure you're following us on Twitch, the KEMPIRE on Twitch. All right. Let me say thank you. JG, thank you for the super chat. JG says, you just never know someone's experience. She has maybe been bullied about being gay. It's sad that they are having this combo in 2026. Good point. But it also tells me a little bit more about the family dynamic. So if the outside world has bullied her for being gay, was at home not a safe space? Because if that's the vibe it's giving, that it wasn't a safe space at home, you didn't tell your mother that you got married. I know they're saying that Angela has known, because people have been saying that Angela is homophobic, but I don't know. The context clues are not saying that it was a safe space at home. If definitely not in the streets. K Unique, thank you so much for the super chat. K Unique says, how did you feel about seeing Apollo's oldest son at the Bailey Bowl with Phaedra? We'll talk about that in a moment when we get to the Bailey Bowl. They didn't really give much. They put a little thing under his name because we've known, because this was something, I thought this was going to be a storyline. Maybe it will be, or maybe it was supposed to be, and they didn't run with it this season because they had other things going on. I told you, as soon as this became a storyline and they were doing a podcast, Apollo and his son, I said, oh, Lord. I said, here goes Phaedra's storyline loading, only to come see the son show up at the Bailey Bowl. Demi, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Demi says, nothing about Kelli adds up. I don't believe she was really a kept woman financially. The ex spent, I believe, a month in jail for back child support. Yeah. Kelli is a Pisces, so... All Pisces. It's okay. It's Cancer season. Maybe I should give it to the Cancer. No, it's Cancer season, so I can't give it to the Cancers. Shout out to all the Cancers. Cancer rising over here. Cancer. Where are the Cancers at? Who's the Cancer in the chat? Where the Cancers at? All right. So the agent says that ideally you should be saving right now, so she should get something that's under her budget in regards to her next rental, and so that she can save up so she can end up buying something. Okay. So the last place that she was a rental, I'm assuming? Oh, okay. Because she had to move out of the house. Look, I have some sympathy for Kelli because she is going through a situation with that ex, and we've seen how that ex has carried on. All right? Kurt says, Kempire, you are always coming for us Pisces. You guys make it so easy, though. All right? Oh, hold on. Taynor says $2,600 a month here in Miami for a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Excuse me. All right. Okay, Dutzy says, whoop, Cancer, first time in forever we aren't being roasted by Kemp. Well, stay tuned. Shout out to all the Cancers celebrating a birthday today, including Portia, who's celebrating her birthday today. Okay, shout out to all the birthday boys and girls. All right. Here go Gigi says, stop with the Pisces bashing. But y'all just make it so easy. All right. Oh, Dutzy, you're a Cancer sun and rising. Are you a little psychic too? It's Cancer season. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Cancers. This is my season too, y'all. T says, where in Miami? Yeah, because that's pretty damn good. From Miami, $2,600 for a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Don't let me move to Miami. All right. Nelly says, under 4K, where is she going to live? It's Atlanta. I'm sure she could live in certain spots. She could definitely. For the Atlanta folks in the chat, is it possible for her to find a place under 4K, a 3-bedroom, 3-bath? We're going to say 3-bath. Right? She should be able to find something. All right. Okay, here come all the Cancers in the chat. I see you, Cancers. All right. Nazebo says, be nice to us with love, Cancers. I will be. WIHD says, $1,800 for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm in Georgia, 2 hours from Atlanta. You're 2 hours from Atlanta, though. That's 2 hours. What neighborhood are you in? All right. All right. Oh, Amara says you're in Duluth. Isn't Duluth a nice area in Atlanta? So that's a nice area, right? Look, look, y'all, these names on here. ASIJAAC says, I'm a Cancer, but I know Kemp is about to rag on us. I'm a Cancer rising. I do rag on you guys, though. I'll try and be nice, though, for now. Okay, Kyla says, it's definitely possible to find something. All right. Yeah, Rainey says, Duluth is very nice. I've learned a thing or two from you guys. So if she could find something in Duluth, I think this was just a scene to have a scene. If I want to be honest with you, I don't believe that she really was trying to rent this place. There's a lot of Cancers in the building. Lord, y'all, hide your purse. Ooh, y'all knew it was coming. Y'all knew it was coming, all right? Okay, let's move on. Where else did I want to talk about? Okay, so Angela and Amari, since we're talking about Angela and Amari. So they end up sitting down to have a conversation with Angela's therapist, Dr. Wendy. Here's the thing. Do y'all think that it's smart to sit down with Angela's therapist? This is the same therapist that she meets with when it comes with her personal stuff. It meets with when it comes to her relationship stuff, with her couples therapy with Charles Oakley. I feel like, not to say that Dr. Wendy is going to be, she's not going to be impartial, but I just feel like maybe we shouldn't. You know what I mean? We'll have more of a neutral party because now there's so much context that you get from Angela's side versus Amari's side. Okay? Y'all are reacting to what I just said. All-Star Queen says, oh, damn, I missed your comment. Hold on. Let me go back up. I live an hour from Atlanta. I pay $1,600 a month, bedroom, 1 bath. Excuse me. Gated and great area and amenities. I could be living like a king in Atlanta versus New York. I just can't live anywhere besides New York. But that's me. But I could live like a king. If I moved to Texas, you know the kind of mansion I could have with how much I pay in rent in New York. And then, oh, God. Lord have mercy. All right. Let's move on. Thank you so much, Rosanny? Or Roseanne? Rosanny, thank you for the super chat. Rosie says, question for you, Kempire. If Cynthia's already filming with her man with a friend of Czech, why not go full time if asked? You're assuming she was asked. I'm not sure she was asked, but I don't blame her for not doing that. He's already showing up more than the actual husband so far. Good point. I'm sure that Cynthia would want a full-time check. I'm sure she would. And I'm sure she would want to be full-time. I don't think she should be, though. I think you're still able to be treated like a full-time person. You're able to show your business. You're able to host. You're having the Bailey Bowl in this episode. I think she's fine. And I don't think that she's getting a very small check for being a friend of. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if Cynthia is making close to what Drew is probably making on the lower end. You know what I mean? So I'm sure she's doing quite fine. And again, she's able to promote her businesses as a friend. That wasn't something that was normal before. And she's featured on every single episode. I think she is fine. If anything, though, Cynthia, when you go to negotiate, because you know these people are going to lowball her, I think you should definitely ask for more. I think you're having a very good season this season. And I think if you become a full-time housewife, people are going to really scrutinize that relationship. It's been 2 years she's been with that man. I don't think you want that. You know what I mean? Anita, happy birthday to your niece. My first niece turns 44 today, Kempire, and she lives in Jamaica. As a child, she was always so quiet. And as a baby, she was never a crier or a fussy baby. Okay. Happy birthday to her. Right? All right. Guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes, but we have nearly 2,000 of you watching on multiple platforms. Be sure to like today's video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Shout out to our friends over at MyFitnessPal for being a sponsor today. So I have to be real with you guys. I've been using MyFitnessPal for years, but there was a period of time that I stopped using it because I hated logging my meals after a while, especially with trying to go through different versions of the meal that I had, forgetting to log it before I started eating. And then if you don't log it, MyFitnessPal loses its purpose. If it loses its purpose, you stop using it. And then you would get hit with ads. Now, I've discovered that MyFitnessPal has come such a long way since my first time using it. I'm always shocked at how easy it is to log the meals now. They even had some meals that I didn't think that they would have, like my cassava shakes. They have that, and they have the new flavors. Okay, this is one of my favorite premium features, and it almost feels like cheating. It's called Meal Scan. Instead of typing anything, I just open the camera, point it at my food. This is my nutrition shake right here. And MyFitnessPal actually sees it. It recognizes what I'm eating. One tap, it adds it to my lunch, and it's logged. No searching, no scrolling, no guessing. I just showed my phone what I was about to eat, and it handled the rest. Easy. And look, it instantly updates my day. It already tells me I'm 80% to my protein goal. That's the part that keeps me honest, because I can see exactly where I am in real time. That's This is me logging a snack today. I'm not typing anything. I just hit barcode scan, point my phone at the protein bar, and there it is. Instantly, the whole thing, 190 calories, my protein, my carbs, my fat, all of it, logged in about 2 seconds. That's it. That's the whole process now. Same thing here. Grab the yogurt drink, scan the barcode, done. It knows exactly what it is. The thing that used to take me a full minute of squinting and searching now takes me the length of one breath. That's the difference premium makes. And that's the other thing. With premium, there are no ads, none. And before premium, I would be trying to log a meal and there would be ads in the way. And things like that are frustrating. You're not going to log your meals. You're not going to want to use the app. And that's really the whole point. And as I said before, your nutrition is the foundation everything runs on. Your energy, your sleep, and your recovery. But only if you stick with it. And you're only going to stick with it if it's easy. And that's exactly what MyFitnessPal Premium did for me. And it can also do it for you. Of course, I've gotten you a discount. Go to podcast.myfitnesspal.com and use code KEMPIRE, all uppercase letters, for 15% off premium. Same thing that took me years to stick with, you can start this week, and it's easier than ever. More information on MyFitnessPal and your discount will be available in the description. Thanks, MyFitnessPal. And we're back. Shout out to MyFitnessPal. Again, guys, more information on our sponsors will be available in the description. Don't forget to like today's video. And don't forget, you can also hear our live recaps and special episodes on the Kempire podcast. Subscribe today. And while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And I did drop a special podcast episode over the weekend, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. All right. Back to our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. So Angela and Amari sit down for this conversation with Dr. Wendy. Angela says that she's not willing to speak to her daughter. So they've got to figure this situation out in regards to their issues. Because the last conversation that they had, Amari basically just got up in frustration and walked away. She's a little bit of a hothead, Amari. Y'all notice that? She's a little bit of a hothead. So Amari says she doesn't see why it's relevant, why she has to tell her siblings about her getting married. She also says that she wasn't comfortable telling her mom, so why should she feel comfortable telling her siblings? Which makes sense. Amari says that her grandmother used to be the one that helped navigate and mediate these conversations between her and her mom. And now that her grandmother is gone, they're having a difficult time communicating. And I understand that, but at this particular point, you guys are adults. You relying on someone else to help you guys communicate should have never been the option, to be honest with you. Because now you see, now that your grandmother is gone, in that beautiful frame. Did y'all see that frame then when they showed the picture of Angela's mom? They said they panned the camera to the beautiful framed picture that Portia got her during last week's episode. I was like, oh, this is gorgeous. So Amari thinks the reason why they're having difficult times communicating is because the grandmother is gone. It's now the anniversary of her passing. So I don't know. I just felt like this particular scene felt chopped and screwed because at the same time, I was like, how did we get to an amicable place? Because the therapist has them hold each other's hands and look in each other's eyes. And we've now somewhat resolved the issue. And then we're joking at the you guys will let me know. Did you feel resolution in that conversation? I just feel like this whole situation is not making 100% sense to me. It's not clicking. And it could be because maybe it's not making 100% sense to them either in regards to their communication. Because I don't feel like they were very clear on what the issue is in regards to their communication, their lack of communication. Maybe it is because they're not able to communicate. So they're not able to communicate to the audience what the issue is. Okay. But yeah, so by the end of their session, it was like, we'll see you next week just to kind of figure out whatever issues that they have going forward. So now Dr. Wendy's now grandma in regards to figuring out their communication style. Mr. Melamash said they swept it under the rug. That's the way it felt. I was like, wait, so we're better now? It doesn't feel like we're better. But again, we are watching a stripped down version, edited version of this conversation. All right. Allie says, I just thought Amari sounded childish and Angela wasn't listening. So both of them are the problem? Hi, Donna. Leo Lady in the chat says, I live 45 minutes from downtown Atlanta. I have a 3-bedroom, 4-bath, full basement, living and dining room, breakfast area, $1,100 a month. I love that for you. Good for you. That's a deal. What part of Atlanta are you? Okay, you say you're 45 minutes from downtown Atlanta. That's not far at all. I have a 3-bedroom, 4-bath, full basement, living and dining room, breakfast area for $1,100. It sounds like you're bragging, Leo Lady. Oh, you're a Leo. Of course you're bragging. Leo Moon, calm down. Leo Moon. Okay. Carla says it was strange. Carrie says no resolution. So I thought maybe they edited out the session out. Okay. So I wasn't the only one. M. Gig says, Kemp, after last week's episode, I did not think it was Angela's place to tell her kids about her daughter's marriage. After this episode, it seems that Mari wasn't going to tell them until she was ready, which is fine. I think that's fine because at the end of the day, I don't think the kids have to know that she's married. But now I'm just like, the reason why you're not telling them, because if you were married to a man, you would tell them. I think it would be actually behoove the children to know because the kids probably already know and the kids probably have already seen multiple same-sex parents at school. All right. All right. B says, I will stay in Memphis. Those prices are too high. I know. If you guys came to New York, please. If I told you all the New York prices, oh my gosh. Between renting and buying. It's just New York. And hence why, if you look at the stats, a lot of New Yorkers, not the millionaires, a lot of New York or the billionaires, a lot of New Yorkers have left New York over the last few years. Even before the pandemic, there was a lot of New Yorkers leaving New York because they were like, I can't pay thousands of dollars in rent or mortgage when I can actually get a full-on house, multiple bedrooms. You're getting 3 times the space in other cities that are not far, and you're still getting city life. So I get it. I can't personally do it because I love New York so much. I just can't leave New York. Maybe when I retire, I probably leave the country, to be honest. Just saying. When I retire. For now, I'm here. I'm queer. Deal with it. Okay. What? I don't know. Happy Pride. Guys, don't forget, we're still raising money. We're still raising money for the LGBT Center here in New York, and we are so far from our goal. We're not even halfway. And you see, it's June 22nd. We have 7 days left. 7 days left, and we haven't reached our goal. Every single dollar counts. Go check out any of our last videos. If you're watching a replay of this, it'll be along here somewhere. Be sure to donate what you can. If you're listening on the podcast and you haven't donated, be sure to head on over to our YouTube channel and donate. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. Okay? All right. Let's move on. Okay. Tari says $2,400 to $2,800 a month seems to be the going rates in Atlanta for what? A 2-bedroom, 2-bath? What's the going rate? For what? Kathy says, I left New York. I love how we go on these tangents, but it's worth us going on a tangent to talk about these things, to be honest with you. Okay? Kathy says, hold on, Kathy. Kathy says, I left New York to live in New Jersey, and it was the best decision, especially since I'm still close to New York and go frequently to watch a Broadway show. And a lot of people, I remember when I was looking for a place, that was something that my agent recommended. It's like, oh, do you want to possibly consider Jersey City? Because it really is a train stop. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Even though it really is a train stop. It's a train stop from New Jersey. So I don't know. Look, no. Not for me, but I get it. A lot of people have done that as well. All right. All right. Rebecca says a 2-bedroom now is $1,900 in Atlanta. Damn, really? I might need to consider. No, I can't live in Atlanta. Sorry, Atlanta. I like to visit, but I don't know about living. All right. Coco says it's getting just as expensive in New York. My friend left Jersey City. Oh, see? That's because so many people are leaving New York to go to nearby places like Jersey City. All right. Kathy says my mortgage. I love how transparent people are in the chat. Kathy says that my mortgage is $1,985. Well, y'all got me considering things. Do I need to move to New Jersey? That's why you saw a lot of these black celebrities moving and buying houses in New Jersey, because they would get so much more for their money than they would here in New York. T says Atlanta's too crowded for me. I come from New York, so the crowdedness doesn't bother me. That traffic, though. All right. Vidal says I used to pay $3,300 for a 1-bedroom studio in Bedford in Brooklyn back in 2016. So that 1-bedroom studio. Wait, 1-bedroom studio. Wait, was it the studio or was it a 1-bedroom? That studio probably now is near 5,000, probably, if not more than 5,000. Yeah, New York is expensive. All right, I love the conversations because I feel like this is educating a lot of people. All right, yes, we are close to 1,000 likes, guys. Yes, I am wearing my team jersey, Team USA. I'll be team whoever the next live, okay? Yeah, but I got my team jersey on. Be sure to check it out, okay? These soccer jerseys are not cheap, okay? All right. Blanche says, that's 1,900 2-bedroom in Atlanta, must be near the Trap. No, not the Trap. Look, not the Trap. All right, if you are a Team Kempire member, I've dropped the calling for you guys as well. I'm going to continue with our conversation because now I've been live for almost 2 hours. And people are going to have their thoughts and opinions. Oh, Vidal said it was a studio. Okay. So you can imagine $3,300 for a studio in New York. And that was in 2016, she said. All right. Okay. I'm telling you, that apartment probably now is $5,500. Crazy. Well, that too, Jamaki, in regards to New Jersey, the property taxes in New Jersey are crazy expensive. Oh, you remember Keith called in, and when Keith was still living here in New York, he says, leaving New York allowed me to save so much money. Fortunately, I'm from there, so I still travel often. And Keith, not to be in your business, because Keith called in last week. We do want an update, Keith. Keith called in talking about reuniting and moving in with his boyfriend in Chicago. That's, look, part of me feels like, damn, I need to get into a relationship or a marriage to come help me split this mortgage. Okay, come help me split these living costs in New York. I get it. Right now, it's all on me. All right, it's all on me. Okay, Hattie, don't gotta brag. Now y'all are just bragging in the chat. Hattie says, I paid $2,900 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in Merlin. I love how you guys say it now, how I say it. Merlin. Oh, okay. Hattie bragging over there. I did look at some, not to say I was going to buy, and I just like looking at properties. Not to say I wouldn't, but I was looking at properties in the DMV, and I definitely would get more for my money down there. I could actually get a really nice property in a nice area down there. But, Jess says, being single is expensive. And mind you, being single, because now you're going out on dates with multiple different people at different restaurants, and you're out drinking and doing all this stuff, and you're trying to meet people and stuff. So it's expensive. All this is expensive. All right? Superstar 7, split question mark? Yeah, split these bills. Oh, I'm sorry. Some of y'all not splitting bills. Some of y'all being taken care of. Okay, fine. Here's the thing with me. If I could pay the mortgage or the rent or something like that, then look, you could pay the electricity. You could pay the utilities. All right. Why would I need to move in with Danielle? That don't make no sense. Okay. Ms. Miller said, you can move in with Danielle. Why would I move in Danielle? Am I hard up for money? Is something going on? All right. Arjun, you saw what Lisbon one? I didn't have a Lisbon. Wait. Oh, the apartment you're talking about, Arjun. Yes. Did I show y'all the apartment that I looked at when I went to Portugal? Am I telling on myself? No, I talked about it. I did a video about Portugal. Didn't I show it? Because so many Americans, especially black people, have moved to Lisbon, Portugal. So while I was there, I said, why not? I love to look at property. I did look at a nice property when I was there. I was like, oh, I could live like a king. I could live like a king anywhere outside of New York, except maybe LA. All right? But all right, I have so much more to talk about, guys. All right, let's get to the Bailey Bowl. Let's get to the Bailey Bowl. I have to say, I enjoy the Bailey Bowl. Okay, it's not the Bailey Bowl. It's Bailey Bowl and Fangie presents Maggie Madness. Again, they're not going to call it the Bailey Bowl because Cynthia's not a full-time housewife. Okay. I enjoyed this. And maybe because we're in the middle of our Knicks celebration, but I enjoyed the celebration of this moment with the Bailey Bowl, the basketball of it all. Charles was there. Charles really enjoyed seeing Charles' commentary in the confessionals. He was so funny. To me, he made the episode so interesting and entertaining. So they're playing 5-on-5 basketball game. Angela had the most professional team, though. Literally professional basketball players. Okay? And then we get to see everyone else's team. First of all, Pinky's team was probably my favorite. We weren't going to win, but they were hilarious. They were like, we need a code word. And like, what's going to be the code word? One of the guys was like, help. That was my favorite part. I was like, I want to be on Pinky's team. Okay. Anyway, and then they were talking about Pinky's team, Charles Oakley. Do you guys have heavier players in basketball? He's like, no, we don't. We do not have heavy players on basketball. You can't be getting pieces of food in the middle of playing basketball. Cynthia and Angela give their team names. What do you guys think of the team names? Pinky's team was called the Chatty Patties. Okay. Because she likes to talk and she's got the vegan patties. Okay. Phaedra's team was called The Godfather. That's when we see Apollo's son there. Apollo's son looks more like Apollo than the kids he has with Phaedra. Okay? He looks like literally like a doppelganger of Apollo. But they don't give any context to it at all. Phaedra's, I got a good team. I got very athletic men, but they didn't win. Okay? Kelly's team is called The Minion, which was that was a dig. Can we talk about it? That was a dig at Kelly being Shamea's minion. And then Kelly, in her confessional, says that I'm exactly what Angela wants her shoe size to be, minion. Did that land for you guys? If she had said mini, then I probably think that would have landed more. But her saying, she wants to be her shoe size to be a minion. Okay. K. Michelle's team is called Blind Ops. I thought that was good because they said because everyone's out together. According to K. Michelle, everyone's out together. So her team name is Blind Ops. Did you guys see that she tried to change the name and says Ops is for opportunity? I think she was hoping for a moment with that, but they kind of just brushed over it. But all right. Shamea's team is called Sasquatch because that's what she keeps calling Angela. I have to give it to Shamea, though. Shamea, you also the 3-pointer that Shamea tried to throw. I was like, if that had landed in there, I'm like, yes, it was close, though. I was impressed with Shamea's basketball skills. Anyone else? But why was Shamea wearing the latex, whatever that was? That wasn't proper attire. Neither was Kelly's. Why was Kelly wearing those heels, those stilettos? Why was she doing that? She was trying to have a moment. I know in her confessional, she was like, I don't wear sneakers. So I went to her Instagram. And even before I went to her Instagram, I thought to myself, well, that's a lie, because weren't you wearing sneakers during your dental appointment when you and Shamea were wearing the same aloe outfit? And I was like, okay, maybe those were boots, but they look like sneakers. Then I kept on scrolling. There was a day where she went out with her kids and she had on sneakers. I get it. She was being funny, and I will give it to her. Her delivery in that moment it gave me a little bit of a giggle. I was like, I don't wear sneakers. She was trying to have a moment. Okay. She was trying to have a moment. I honestly was worried for her ankles. You running around in heels? I thought she might actually hurt herself. I'm surprised because that was like a facility that they were using. I'm surprised no one told her, like, you can't be on this court in heels. First of all, because of the injury of it all. Secondly, because of you want to mess up our floor. Did anyone else think about that? I'm just like, okay. Moving on. Charles says that everyone knows because Angela's mentioning her issues with Shamea and Shamea constantly bringing up her big feet. Okay. Charles says everyone knows that Angela has a large size. Angela in the confession, I thought she's supposed to be on my side. And then he said, if you had a 6 or 7, you'd fall over. Angela's shook by his commentary, but I was giggling to myself. I said, more Charles. All right. Angela, hold on, let me go back. Charles says that Shamea did her homework. He was actually impressed with her skills. So for those of you that say that you weren't impressed with Shamea's skills, Charles was impressed with her skills. He said her time in the NBA. I was like, what's her time in the NBA? You been working as the host or something else? Look up something else. So Charles says that she did her homework. Angela, so that we're watching them play this game. I was entertained, but again, I'm wondering if I'm entertained because of the excitement of the Knicks right now and watching those games the past couple of weeks. So I'm wondering, it looks like the New York Liberty might win too. Can you imagine? So part of me is, am I just excited about this episode because I'm in my basketball mode, KSPN? I don't know. I felt like it was a good episode. So Angela says that she wanted to win this for Charles since he didn't win a championship. He didn't win a college championship. He didn't win the NBA championship. I was happy that Charles could be there. He's talked about being there and being able to watch this win. He said he will always have love for New York, and New York will always have love for Charles. He was in Harlem. They gave him a roaring welcome when he went into that restaurant. So, so of course, Angela's team ends up winning. Okay. Angela's team ends up winning. I'm not surprised by it. In the confessional, Charles says he's happy for her. And he's like, give me a kiss. And Angela refuses his kiss. And then he flashback to when she asked for a kiss and he refused. So, Angela, stop playing games. All right? Stop playing games. Edward, thank you so much for being a member for 31 months. Edward says, congratulations, New York. Yeah, we're still celebrating over here. Y'all lucky I didn't change my outfit. Y'all lucky I did not change my outfit. But yeah. No, Charles is still not permitted into MSG. We've talked about that recently. We talked about how Michael Jordan even tried to convince Dolan, a.k.a. Nolan, to lift the ban on Charles Oakley. Whatever. Five Wisdom says, I like that Charles is also trying to be more affectionate. Ashley says Charles is hilarious. For me, he was the best part of the episode. More Charles Oakley. Because he's always going to speak his mind. He's not going to hold back. All right. I also liked Angela's outfit celebrating him. She had the jersey dress. That used to be so popular in the early 2000s. It was popular, those jersey dresses. So I see quite a few people. Remy Ma had one on the other day as well. Excuse me. All right. So Angela, here's the thing with Angela. This was a moment to celebrate her mom and celebrate the anniversary of her mom's death. I thought it was kind of strange that she would be the one starting beef at her own event. I get it. You have a job to do. This is a reality show. But it shouldn't have been on you. It shouldn't have been on you starting this issue at your own mother's event. Right? Don't y'all think? I felt like that was a little tacky. It'd be different if someone else did it. But you taking it there at your mother's event, I was like, this is not the place for this. At all. We could have just had a moment and had a good old time. Right? So Angela asked Shamea, where's Gerald? And Shamea, he's at work. It's a work day. Here's the thing, though. How do you guys feel at the fact that Gerald keeps not showing up? Even at this particular event, I get it. He doesn't like filming, but this could have been a really great time for him to show up for Shamea. And he never shows up. This is an easy, all the husbands are going to be there. He doesn't have to be in the mess. He could be there playing, but he doesn't show up for that. So Angela being messy, she's, where's Gerald? He's working. It's a work day. Okay. It's a work day. So then Angela brings up the fact that Shamea has been saying that she believes that Angela set Charles up last season when it comes to the rumor and the guy and blah, blah, blah. And then they cite the interview where she said it. She also mentions how Shamea was saying that she always sees Charles outside. So Shamea was like, well, you said that I'm sleeping with the basketball players, and that's the only reason why I'm keeping my job over there at the NBA. And then Shamea says, you got your last name by sleeping with an NBA player. Oh, damn. Okay. All right. At one particular point, so they're doing that back and forth. At one particular point, K. Michelle says in her confessional that there are other things to be worried about other than Shamea right now. So this is what she's talking about when it comes to Angela. Angela says it all started with Portia. And she's like, how am I involved? Shamea calls out Drew for chiming in during this back and forth between her and Angela. And what do you guys think? Do you think Drew should have just kept quiet and just left this between the two of them? I think so. This didn't involve you. And yes, I understand that Drew can have smoke for Shamea because of what Shamea did during their last conversation. But then it turns into this back and forth between Shamea and Drew. And Shamea, oh, you're calling me a lapdog, but here you are. What are you doing right now? Being a lapdog. And then so Portia, wait, who's on my lap now? Okay, Portia, who's on my lap now? Drew did not bring up the fact that, no, she was calling Shamea a lapdog for how she was defending K. Michelle. Because then that would have caused an issue between Drew and K. Michelle. Pinky then decides, I feel like this was a producer egging Pinky on. Pinky says, it's everything between you and Shamea, between you and K Michelle, okay? And Shamea is confused. What's wrong? What's going on between me and K Michelle? And then all of a sudden you see literally Pinky backpedaling because I just sensed an energy. No, you didn't. You did not sense an energy. What energy is happening between K Michelle and Shamea? So K Michelle is just, oh, I don't know what's going on. K Michelle, come on now. This is your opportunity to show up and address the things. But K Michelle says in her confessional, everybody's coming down on Shamea. I don't want to have to be a part of that as well. And although I agree with her, how many months later when she says this in a confessional, I'm thinking in that moment, K Michelle is just not showing up. We've seen a pattern of behavior from K Michelle this season where K Michelle is running from conflict. And I know she's going to paint it as, oh, I'm trying to be different. I'm trying to be a different person. But you decided to start the conflict in your confessionals, but also when you mentioned this to Pinky. So Pinky's doing her job as a housewife. Well, you did mention to me that there was an issue. Okay? So K Michelle, I feel like, was cowering in that moment. And she tries to deflect in that moment in regards to her issues. She says in her confession that she feels like everyone was coming after Shamea, so she didn't want to add to the situation. Here's the thing, though. By the end of the episode, I actually felt for Shamea. Because although they're saying, Drew says that K Michelle doesn't fit in, it's clear even from last season that Shamea is feeling like she doesn't fit in with the women. She's feeling alienated. So she starts crying in her confessional. They don't want her to be a part of the friend group. I felt for Shamea. I really did. She's feeling left out, and hence goes back to the Texas trip, the Dallas trip. She's being triggered by the not Pisces are runners. Lisa said Pisces are runners. Ooh. Her and Kelli being put in the pool house, she was triggered. She felt like she was being put out of the group. And that's why she was upset and why she has smoke for Cynthia. That's what I feel. T says, Shamea tricked you. No, because I have a heart. So anytime someone's going to start crying, I do feel like she does feel alienated from girl. I'm not saying that she hasn't done it to herself and that she hasn't created this, but I still felt for her in that moment. And I feel for her because not only does she feel like the group doesn't like her, she feels like the audience doesn't like her. Look, oh. Look, oh. Oh, here go Mikkel. Mikkel, thank you for being here at my platform. Mikkel says, Kim, hush. You literally talk about her every week. Am I not here recapping Real Housewives of Atlanta, which she's on every week? Mikkel? And you're clearly a subscriber because the subscribers only chat. Aren't I here doing my job? Talking about a show? Am I not? Am I? Carla says, don't fall for it, Kempire, in regards to Shamea. I have a heart. This is my Cancer rising coming in, okay? This is my Cancer rising. Woo, woo, woo. Okay? Am I not allowed to have dimension and feel sorry for someone? Huh, Mikkel? All right? But here's my problem with people that come into the chat. Don't you dare ever come into my house and tell me to hush. Okay? I'm not going to ban you now, but tread lightly. Don't come in my house and tell me to hush, because then the horns are going to get you. The bull is going to come out. You hush, Matter of fact, you shut up. Look, you shut up, Mikkel. You drag her every week. No, I don't. Here's the thing. You guys say I drag someone. If you really knew how much I could drag someone with information that I have and with my reading skills and my shade skills, y'all ain't seen nothing. Mikkel, the way that I could drag you right now, I'm not. I'm giving you grace. But the next time you ever decide to come up in my house and tell me to hush, you might get it. But I'll probably ban you before I actually read you because you're just not worth it. About hush. That's the thing. Here in the chat, y'all don't always agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. This is a safe space to share your opinion, but it's all about how you share your opinion. You do not come into my house and tell me to hush or come at me any which way. Okay? Tread lightly, Mikkel. I'm also from New York. Let me start to bring back the villain era. Okay. Thank you so much for this. Oh, thank you, Edward, for all the super chats. Edward says, I honestly feel with the beef between Angela and Shamea, they might as well square up for a few minutes. Talk like an adult or separate. Not square up, Edward. Not square up. Edward, thank you for another super chat. Edward says, it's crazy how it's more expensive to live on your own than with someone because I personally don't do roommates, don't even their family. I agree. I don't do roommates either. And it would be true. That's why so many people in New York do have roommates. I don't. I haven't had a roommate since college. And I think that situation is why. I was like, oh, God, I would never want to have a roommate ever again in life. All right. Tyrell, thank you for the super chat. Tyrell says, what Shamea is to RHOA is what Brittany is to Salt Lake City. Can you explain that, Tyrell? What Shamea is to RHOA is what Brittany is to Salt Lake City. Can you explain? I need more on why you say that. One's a housewife and one's a friend of. Tish, thanks so much for the super chat and for being a member. Tish says Pinky was placed in a room by herself and has no issues with it. Hey, right? I would prefer that. Shamea had her bestie as a roommate. I don't know. It feels like Shamea is playing the victim and villain at the same time. Pick a lane. Yes, but look, again, she started crying, so I felt I had the cancer rising in me was like, oh, don't cry. Look, don't cry. But I do feel like she does play victim. She does try, but in other interviews, she's trying to play the villain. Okay? But here we are. Mech Mill, thank you so much for the super chat. Mech Mill says, damn, Kempire, I'm quiet. I hushed too. Oh, we weren't talking about you, Mech. We weren't talking about you. Thank you for the super chat. We weren't talking about you. All right. Oh, Blanche says, I would move back with my parents before I lived with a roommate. Look, I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if I would do that either. And that part, Anita says, Kempire, don't let them forget you are Jamaican blooded too. And look, wait. And that side takes no mess either. Can y'all imagine? And both my parents are Scorpios. Just a combination gonna get you. Keep it up. All right. Thank you guys so much for liking the videos and sharing the videos. So that's how the episode ended. They ended with a fake hug. And Shamea was like, I'm not doing this. But she ends up coming in with the hug. And that's when she starts crying in her confessional because she doesn't feel like she's a part of the group. That, for me, was probably the realest that we've seen from Shamea. She says she doesn't feel like she's a part of the group, which reminded me about the Dallas trip. That's what she's probably been feeling like since last season. So hence why she's gravitated to Kelli, because Kelli doesn't feel a part of the group either. Not to say that it's an alliance. I do believe it's a friendship, but that's why they gravitated towards each other. T says, I wouldn't. My parents are Jamaican and religious. I'm good. Roommate me, please. But you got a husband. Tish, you got a husband. Thankfully, I'm sure. A very lovely husband that I met at the New York show. So, all right. Let's get to the callers, right? Are you guys ready for some callers? All right, but before we do that, shout out to our friends over at Boll & Branch for their summer sale that's going on. I love my Boll & Branch. Have you noticed that your sheets are slipping off the corners lately? Or maybe your pillows don't feel as supportive? So many people think it's their mattress or they think it's their pillows when it actually has more to do with your sheets. I'm so excited about our friends Boll and Branch being here on the channel again because I've been able to experience their sheets personally over the last several weeks. And I took advantage of their Memorial Day sale. More on that later. But I'm excited for them to be back here on the channel because so many people complain about their sleep patterns and how their sleep is being affected, and they don't realize it probably isn't your mattress. It probably isn't your pillows. It's probably what you're putting on your mattress and your pillows. So that's why I upgraded to our friends over at Boll and Branch. They make everything your bed needs. Their signature organic cotton sheets, pillows, blankets, and comforters are all designed to be breathable, incredibly soft, and get better over time. More importantly, how do your sheets feel after you wash them several times? So most people start with their signature sheets, and a lot of customers buy 2 sets so that they can rotate them. I know that's what I did recently. I've also added their waffle sheet, which I've already washed twice, and still it remains super soft and luxurious. So as I mentioned before, I took advantage of their Memorial Day sale. Thank you to all of you that reminded me to make that order that day. Literally got it, not the following day. I ordered it on that Memorial Day. I got it that Wednesday. Can you imagine? What I also loved with their customer service, their local Boll and Branch store reached out to me to help if I wanted to upgrade my bedroom. So the customer service already was top tier. But more importantly, what I also love is that after I washed it several times, it still remains super soft, still super quality. But of course, I don't bring anyone here where I can't get you some sort of discount. Sleep cooler this summer with Boll and Branch during their annual summer event. For a limited time, get 20% off site-wide at bollandbranch.com/Kempire with code KEMPIRE. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/Kempire. Code KEMPIRE to take 20% off. bollandbranch.com/Kempire. Exclusions apply. More information on Boll and Branch will be available in the description. Thanks, Boll and Branch. Yes, and we're back, guys. Welcome back to our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. We're going to get into some calls. Keep in mind, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. Everything that they say is alleged of their own opinion. And what else do I want to say? They will abide by the timer. Please abide by the timer so we're able to get to everyone. Live chat, once we get to 1,100 likes, I'll drop the call link for you guys as well. Speaking of Boll and Branch, I just washed again the waffle blanket. That sucker is so luxurious and heavy feeling. Especially if you, I don't like a weighted blanket. Some of you do, but this is like a good in between for someone that doesn't like a weighted blanket. But it was like a good, I was about to say girth, but a good weight to it. That's Kempire After Dark. Get your tickets today, guys. September 25th, the Kempire After Dark live show returns to the Green Room 42. Get your tickets today. Ticket information will be available in the description. There are live stream tickets available as well. All right. Lexi pulled out the violins. Okay. The violins for Shamea. Oh, Shamea. Okay. Let me say, look, Straight Glass says, get them, Kempire. Leave us May babies alone. We give grace because we are brutal when disrespected. That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't know how light that I actually go. Tanya, I need to twerk for this. Thank you for the super chat, Tanya. $50 super chat. Come on now. Lunch. Okay, Tanya says, I lived with my roommate once and she questioned my lifestyle and invited me to Bible study. Questioned your lifestyle? What in the hell, Tanya? I'm still friends with my college roommate, but Lord. Tanya says, I love a good girth and weighted blanket. Oh, we are the best. This community is a bird. All right, let's get to the call. I can't wait for September 25th. We're going to have a time, y'all. Especially because that would be my only show for the rest of the year. There are no other shows. Maybe for 2027, but no promises. But this will be our last show for 2026. Go get your tickets again, guys. Ticket information will be available in the description. If you don't want to miss out on exclusives and exclusive show dates and things like that, make sure you join our mailing list, thekempire.com/join. Minds if we can post a link in the chat. That would be fantastic. Thekempire.com/join. join. Don't forget, guys, you can also, who's watching from the website right now? You can watch us live on the website right now. You can also get our Pride merch and everything like that available on thekempire.com. Exactly. Five Wisdom says, we be real calm, but don't mess with us. Y'all see me get a little crunk on the channel, but that's not even the actual levels it could go. T says Kempire is channeling his inner Shamea with that twerk. Look, $50. Come on now. Thank you, Tanya. All right, let's get to the callers because we are already live 2 hours and 22 minutes, which I don't mind because then I need to go rest my voice. I'm going to go, maybe I'll go live on TikTok and cook with you guys after the live because I need to make my dinner for tonight. Okay, and it's supposed to rain, so I can't even go for my evening. Whoa, Kempire. Oh, Shamea. So no one else in the chat felt sorry for Shamea? Hello? Hello? Anyone else in the chat feel sorry for Shamea? No? I felt a little sorry for her. I'm not saying that she's innocent, but I did have a little bit of a heart. I was like, oh, damn. Wave Key said you said that last time. Wave Key, you as a Virgo should know better and remember the notes. I said that I probably, and for those that were at the live show, of the princess says, sorry for what? Oh, I felt sorry for her. She felt left out of the group. Okay, Kurt said, I did. The K Perspective says, I did. But a lot of y'all saying no. T says, nope. Stephanie says, nope. Asia says, I did, Kempire. Tammy says, nope. Angela says, I did. They are ganging up on her. Foxy says, I do. See? Five Wisdom says, I did your... Wait, damn. It went quick. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We got... How many people in the chat? All right, we got lots of people here. Wave Keith, I said last time I probably would end up having another New York City show, but I'm not touring this year. You guys like to pick and choose what you want to hear, okay? I said I'm not touring this year, and I didn't. You see that? I did not tour this year. But I will have another live show September 25th at the Green Room 42. Shouts to the Green 42. But if you can't make it, there's a live stream option. But why don't you come, Keith, with your man, because you have friends and family in New York. Make it a weekend trip. Come September. Just saying. All right. Bernita says, I felt bad for her also. I'm going to need y'all to have a little bit of a heart. I'm not saying that we won't hold her accountable. As Mikkel said, I drag her every week. Y'all have no idea what dragging is. If y'all think that's dragging, okay. All right. Let's get to the calls. Miss Bernice is first backstage. That pays to be a member. Hey, Miss Bernice.
What up, though, Kempire? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine. Let me mute my TV. Okay.
Please.
Okay.
What were you watching?
You know these AI stories that be on YouTube?
I heard about them.
A lot of them. They're good. Some of them are good. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going by what y'all said, because if it ain't interesting to me, I'm not going to watch it. But Shamea's situation is, we had sympathy for Angela last year with her marriage and Charles when we thought he wasn't treating her right. But you don't have that same sympathy for Shamea now because her husband refused to be on the show, to shoot scenes on the show. So that got to affect her. I don't care what your situation is. I want my husband's support. And she don't have that. And nobody's looking at it from that point of view.
Yeah.
They're just looking at Portia and Shamea. Shamea is she has her own identity separate from Portia. I like Shamea's life more than I like Portia. Okay? And with Kelli, people, if it's to keep your peace, if you got to downsize to stretch your money to where you can live, do that. Because you living above your means, and you're not teaching your daughters how to manage their money instead of their money managing them. There's a difference.
Yeah.
And that's the only fault I have with her. She's not teaching her daughters by examples. She's teaching her daughters that they always got to depend on somebody else to take care of them instead of them taking care of themselves. Come on, people. Now, you can get a nice house. Go look at the historical districts. I'd rather go get a mansion in a historical district that I may have to work on to bring up than to go bust it broke every month paying $3,000 or $5,000 for a 1 or 2 bedroom. Come on, people. Work smarter, not harder.
What can you get in Detroit for a 2-bedroom, two bath?
If you're going downtown, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath is going to be $3,000 and up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because what they did was when they came, anything on Woodward downtown or on Fort where they redid the book Cadillac and made the apartments at the higher apartments, those are like penthouse. So you're going to pay some money for those.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But any going outside, as in further from Detroit, from downtown, the prices get better.
Okay.
Like I said, historical districts. You can go to Boston Edison, you can go to the University District, and even in Indian Village. I prefer that you get an old house and bring it up to code and live in that one than spending your money on a house that is already built and you're paying a mortgage for 30 years that you know you're not going to be in the house for 30 years.
Mm. All right, Ms. Bernice. Yeah. We appreciate all the information you provided to us.
No problem. And you have a good one.
Love
you, boo.
Thank you, Ms. Bernice.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. All right, Toya's backstage. We're going to bring Toya up next. Toya, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Can you hear me? Oh, good. Thank you. I just want to say thank you for having a heart for my girl, Shamea. It ain't but about three of us that, don't like Shamea, okay? I just want to say this. Y'all, everyone's always like, Shamea's so cringe. She's so this. Yeah, she twerks a lot. It's annoying. Yeah, she goes, everybody, her best friend. It's annoying. But there's a lot worse, y'all. We've seen y'all go up for people like Cameron Huger, and Cameron done put people's lives in jeopardy. Cameron got a standing ovation at BravoCon, and the highest rated episode had her special for Potomac. You cannot give her that, but then what is the reason why y'all hate Shamea so much? I don't understand it. And I'm very partial. I'm very open to changing my mind. But why? Why? Have a heart, y'all. Okay, let me leave before I get beat up in the
Bye, Toya. They gonna beat you up all right. They gonna be like, why she sound so low? That's what they gonna get her. Here's the thing. I think why people give grace, on our channel, we definitely held Karen accountable for what she did. But at the same time, putting that to the side, the Grand Dame is funny. She's offered so much. Like, I could watch a clip of her highlight reel of her time on Real Housewives of Potomac. I can't say I could do that for Shamea. Shamea's not a great reality TV star. She's had some moments, but overall, she's definitely not a Karen, even though they're both Tauruses. Okay. All right. Keith's backstage. Keith.
Hey, Kempire. You can hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
All right. So first, I just want to say $4,000 a month in Atlanta. I feel like that should get you a penthouse apartment or something. I don't know.
But she's got kids.
Huh?
But she's got kids.
Okay, maybe a third floor apartment. but my point being is, I feel like Atlanta really isn't that expensive. Where $4,000 is almost double what her maintenance is for her skincare and her hair. $2,000 a month for that, but you're spending $4,000 on where you're living. That's a little strange to me.
How much is it?
Also,
I'm sorry to interrupt. How much is it in Chicago though? Because Chicago's a big city too.
Yeah. So previously, my rent was $3,500, but now with
one
my
bedroom,
man, I don't pay. One bedroom, yeah. But now I don't pay any rent. I live with my man.
Sugar baby.
So I don't know what the rent is. I don't know. He pays the mortgage. So I don't know what the bills is or anything like that. But I'm assuming probably around $555. I'm not sure.
And how many rooms? How
Three
many
bedrooms.
Oh.
3 bedrooms. But he put a bigger down payment down. So that's probably why it's a little less on his mortgage.
So it would probably be a little bit more. Okay.
Yeah. But also, I wanted to say that I did feel bad for Shamea because me and you, we're like empaths. I feel like most earth signs are empaths. We're able to think objectively, so we're in tune with a lot of people's emotions. I understand where Shamea is coming from towards the end, but also Cynthia being the bone collector when transferring the information from Shamea to Angela. My thing is, I understand they're on a reality show, so they're saying it publicly. But at the same time, I think if you're transferring this information to someone else, now we're not just making it a blimp at a reunion or on Watch What Happened Live. We're making this a storyline. So you're basically trying to bring this up so we can create a long-term issue. So I understand where Shamea may feel a little taken aback by Cynthia bringing on information to bring back to Angela. But lastly, I did want to say, sorry, but anybody that wants Portia and Dennis to get back together, y'all are pick-me's. Pick-me's. Because let's not forget, this man cheated on her while she was pregnant. Now, if you're willing to cheat on the mother of your child while she's pregnant, mind you, you can have a major issue if you were to get an STD while pregnant. So if you're willing to do that to the mother of your child, then there's no type of respect that he ever given her. But yeah, I don't want them back together. I think, even though I'm not biggest fan of Portia as of right now, I think she deserves better than that.
Damn. All right. Thanks, Keith. Keith over there living like a sugar baby. Keith, I'll just tell you this, and I agree with the people in the chat. Make sure you save your money. I'm not saying nothing's going to happen, but make sure now that you're saving money on rent, make sure that you put that into an FU fund. Even if you take half of that a month and put that into an FU fund, you're a Virgo, I'm not worried. And put some of that into investments. Tish, thank you so much for the super chat. Tish says, I have a heart too, but I'm Jamaican born and bred. I was taught that you can't avoid consequences for your actions. Damn, Tish. Tish wasn't done. Tish says, I've been thinking about pivoting to Twitch for live streams, but I'm not sure if the chat is combined. And I know it's not combined. They have their own. Shout out to those of you that are on Twitch. Say something. And I like to do hood rat stuff with my friends. I would miss cutting up too much with everyone. You would. The larger audience is on YouTube, but we have quite a few people that are now on Twitch. Twitch fam, look, Acid says we have fun over here at Twitch. Okay. All right, Twitch. We see y'all. All right. Okay, let me get to our next couple of callers. We got Tyler backstage. Let's bring Tyler up next. Tyler, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. Before I get into that, I think I've made the right decision staying in Memphis because I live in a 3-bedroom, two full bathroom home, and my mortgage is only $1,800. I couldn't imagine paying that much. So I guess I'm doing the right thing by staying in Memphis.
You are.
And even a nice apartment like downtown Memphis, like a very nice one, not like basic, will only run you high-end $2,800. So yeah, it's a little different here. You might have to dodge a bullet every now and then.
I'm in New York, so regardless.
Yeah, I've made the right decision. Think I'm going to stay here. But yeah, as far as the housewives go, I will say this. Shamea, not as far as me being corny, because she's corny, but a lot of the things that she struggles with, I had to go through therapy for, like being a people pleaser. And I think what the audience is experiencing with Shamea, I don't want to see her leave the show. I want her to go through therapy, because I think Shamea has potential to be an amazing housewife. And I'm glad that, okay, last season she made a mistake. This season she's going through it. I think continue to let her grow. It's because they see you saying things, but then you kind of like still want to hold on to these friendships. If you're going to stand your ground, Shamea, stand your ground. It's the fence peddling with her. And I think that's where people are disconnected with her, because it's like you have everything to be that girl. And there's an element of you that could read these girls down, but then you want to still have connections to them. Shamea, step into your light. I do not know many Tauruses like that. That's why I'm shocked. She
Me
needs
too.
Therapy. She needs therapy. Most Tauruses are straight up and to the point. But I think that once she gets that type of therapy, or maybe next season, depending upon how this reunion plays out, I think we're going to get a better Shamea next season, because I think she realized I don't need to try to be their friend. They don't want to be mine or whatever. But I keep saying this, and I'm going to finish. Angela needs to watch out. I really do not think that next season is going to go in her favor, because she's teetering around being a bully. She reminds Giselle, like, you started off so good, then eventually you just started being a bully and people don't like you.
Yeah.
But that's all.
Thanks, Tyler. She needs to learn how to let it go with Shamea. I think there's a level of, if she comes for you, then you respond. But I do think at this reunion, she needs to find some resolution. As Tyler was speaking, I was like, oh, there's so much information that I've gotten. I'm going to hold on to this information. There's so much information I've gotten when it comes to both Atlanta and Potomac, but I'm going to hold on to it. Get your tickets. KEMPIRE After Dark, September 25th. Green 42. Tickets now available. All right, Ms. Zebu is backstage. We're going to bring Ms. Zebu next. Ms. Zebu, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, KEMPIRE. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Okay, so a couple of comments, and sorry, I actually made notes as well because can I tell you what? At this point, I am watching Real Housewives of Atlanta for your recaps.
Thank you.
Not the other way around. Okay. So, so yeah. So first things first, can we all acknowledge the fact that Drew is no longer tearing her Achilles since she's broke up with Ralph? I think that Ralph was the weapon formed against her. Yeah. And then Shamea. So here's my comment, and I understand, I get the cancer softness that is playing in your heart at the moment. But first thing of all, Shamea has done this to herself, right?
Yes.
So what she's ultimately done, and excuse me, I've got my little one singing in the background, but essentially she is upset at the repercussions of her own actions. Okay. And that's the reason why she's crying. She's crying because she didn't think her actions would have garnered such a reaction from everybody else. She thought everybody was just going to take it. But because people are fighting back, now all of a sudden it's woo, woo, woo. I'm sorry. I'm very sensitive too, and I give people grace, but Shamea has done too much. I can tell you now, she wouldn't have been even half as kind or extended any grace to anybody else had they been the one in that situation. So I'm sorry. And if anything, sorry. Okay, let me hang up. It's all good. I'll take my turn next time. Thanks.
Thanks, boo.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
I am going to drop the call link for the general audience in a moment, but keep liking the video. It's easy, free way of supporting the channel. We've got quite a few of you watching across all platforms, so shout out to all of you that are here. All right, let me bring up Lee next. Lee, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing good. Okay, so I just wanted to say the whole Shamea aspect of it all. Shamea came onto being a full-time last year as being the connector of everybody. And I think she's seeing it in real time that she's no longer that. She's seeing it as I'm really only connected to Kelli and sometimes K. Michelle, and that's not how she started, but it's looking like that's how she's going to end. So I think that's what her emotional is. And I understand that because you came in with a whole bunch of friends and you're kind of going to leave with just one. And speaking of that one, Kelli, I don't understand her at all. I feel also just as a mother, you know that you have to cut back. You know that. You don't have that expensive lifestyle anymore. Just to spill some of my own tea, a year and a half ago, I had surgery and I got a little bit sick after that, and I was not able to work. I had to cut back. My baddie budget was in danger, okay? So you know what I did? I went to Amazon. I learned how to do my own nails. I always did my own hair. I cut back on that, learned how to do my own skincare until I was able to do that again, until I was able to go get things done professionally. She can't style herself, but guess what, honey? There's Pinterest, okay? Copy and paste until you get it right.
Okay.
That's it. That's all.
Thanks, Lee.
Talk soon.
I just recently, because I haven't been on Pinterest in a long time, and I was like, I haven't been on there in a hot second. I want to start doing some mood boards. All right, let's bring up Kathy next. Hold on. Kathy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
Finding you. So
well.
because of you, I'm now watching Housewives of Atlanta. I stopped.
Oh.
So I've been watching the last few episodes. So I just have to say I don't feel sorry for Shamea, only because I think she starts problems. Okay. And then when it comes back to her, she plays victim. So I can't feel sorry for someone who starts a problem but don't want to take ownership of the problem. Now with Kelli, I'm just going to talk about her financial choices. It's like she went with did she go to the financial advisor before she went looking for the apartment? I'm confused because when you look at how much she spends per month, why would you look at an apartment that's $7,000? You're adding more debt on top of debt that you already can't pay for. And also, I think that people should look at these storylines, whether they're true or not, and really pay attention that you don't need to live beyond your means. For what? It doesn't make sense to work yourself and have to continuously work to maintain your lifestyle. And who's benefiting from it? Who's benefiting from it, especially when they come and take all your belongings? I just want to say one thing before I go. I'm so sorry. Is that one thing my father used to always tell me when I became a nurse, I was 21. And the first thing I wanted to do was buy a car. And he said, where are you going to park the car? He said, this house is mine. I bought the house. Your first priority is to buy your own home. So then you park your car in your own garage, not at my garage. And I say it to say we have to first invest in the things that will then have a return on the investment. Her having a car payment for $2,000 a month shows me, because I have my own car, and I always buy pre-certified used car, low mileage, lower costs, whatever. But one of the things that happens, if you have bad credit and you want that luxury car, especially if it's a Land Rover, your payments is going to be high. So you're paying more in interest than you're actually paying on the car. Make logical sense. And if it doesn't make sense, you're giving money to the bank. So the bank is getting richer while you're getting poor. So she really got to live within her means. Think about her kids, not depend on the man, because if she's saying that the man used to do this, then that's concerning to me too, because my father, once again, my father used to always tell me, make sure you have your own.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have your own, a man will use you and they can always leave you. And then what do you have? You have nothing for yourself. No. So you have to work hard for what you want for yourself and be wise with your money and invest it wisely. So that's the only thing I have to share.
Thanks, Kathy.
You.
Ooh. All right. So I'm going to bring up Nicole next. Again, guys, I have a long line backstage. Please respect the timer so that I can get to everyone. You know, I really try to get to everyone, but if people start going over the timer, it only takes one person, then I'm going to have to cut it short. Okay. We've already been here live 2 hours and 45 minutes. All right. All right. Keep liking the video, guys. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Be sure to check out the description for all details on our live show that's coming up on September 25th. Our mailing list and our sponsors will be available in the description. Let's bring up Nicole next. Nicole, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, KEMPIRE. Happy Pride Month, sweetheart.
Thank you.
I just want to say with Kelli, I still can't get over the fact that she paid $2,500 for some eyelashes. I use the whole strip because, one, I'm a swimmer. So I think like this, I'm not going to pay hundreds of dollars or a couple of $1,000s to go in a swimming pool and the chlorine eats up my expensive eyelashes. And also, the thing is, I wanted to say is when we were talking about the rent aspect, I live 10 minutes outside of D.C. I live in Alexandria, and I'm tied in to help you with your real estate. I'm going to give you some pointers on that. But the thing is, when I got my apartment, I did it during the pandemic because at that time, I live in an area with a bunch of federal workers. My building has all the amenities. I have HOA. I have a parking garage, the gas station is right across the street from me when I pull out the garage. I'm one exit away from D.C. I'm going into D.C. I work in D.C. But the thing is, with my car, I even bought a brand new car during the pandemic. Played everything smart because I knew they were trying to get all those 2020 cars off the lot. So they were going to ask for money down. Prime example, I have had my car for 6 years. I only have 51,000 miles on my car because what I do, because we all have to work remote from home. So I was trying to find a 2-bedroom, couldn't get it because everybody's working from home. People need an extra room for an office. So I just stuck with the 1-bedroom. So originally I came in, it was only $1,400 a month. The reason is now it's $2,200 is because after the pandemic started, we started opening back up. The landlords were looking to make up for all the loss that they got. So that's why but I'm good at where I'm at. But my point is this, is that she's living beyond her means. I stay within my means. And I don't need a house. I'm by myself. I don't have any kids. So what I want to say to you, if you're looking at DMV area for real estate, I'm from Virginia. I'm in Alexandria.
I'm not looking.
Okay, but I'm just saying it. Just give a tip because a lot of people don't understand. You can own the home in the area, but you will never own the land because it's historical land. It's owned by the federal government because a lot of people forget it was a huge slave migration there. Virginia is historical, especially in Northern Virginia. So if you're going to look for a home there, make sure you get a real estate agent that's going to research, is the person going to be able to own the land itself, not just the house. So I just want to give you that information if you decide to look up in that area.
All right.
So that's all I want to say.
Thanks, Nicole.
Okay?
Bye.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too. All right. I just gave a whole speech on pay attention to the timer, and y'all still not. I'm going to just start cutting people off. Okay, Demi's backstage. Demi, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, KEMPIRE. Hope you're well.
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. I want to echo, I agree with everything that Tyler said in regards to Shamea. The therapy would certainly help, and the reunion, I really agree with everything she said. Moving on. I'm a little disappointed in how Angela's daughter Amari is choosing to go about this marriage thing and the children. I think we're looking at it as a sexuality thing and not as a life experience thing. And there's a major opportunity that she's going to miss out on. Just for a quick example, when I was 19, I called my sister. She's older than me by 7 years. I called her and told her something about myself. And she said, I should have told you X, Y, and Z about me because maybe this wouldn't have happened with you. And she said, I thought you were too young. And it was like, dang, like you can't think that with kids. You don't know what they're going through with their experience. I think they're like 9, those girls, I don't know. They're like around 8, 9. That's usually the age when you start having crushes, or you've already had a crush, probably about 6 years old. But I know I did. And so you begin to have crushes. So I think I don't like the way she's choosing to handle it. I don't like the coddling with that because of her situation. It's more of a life thing, not a thing like that. That's just how I see it. It just triggered me a bit. It brought me back to that exact place where I was with my sister at 19. Anyway, have a great day.
You too, Demi. Thank you so much for calling in. I think we are trying to make sense of a situation with Angela and her daughter where we don't have a lot of context. I feel like they're not able to communicate with each other. They're also not able to communicate to the world what's really happening there, because I think we're all confused and we're all coming to our own conclusions on what really is happening. All right, Cynthia's backstage. We're going to bring Cynthia up next. Cynthia, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Cancer rising. My birthday's on Wednesday.
Happy early birthday.
Hey, Kempire, quick question. Did you watch The Polygamist on Netflix?
Not yet.
Please watch it. Please. It is everything. Everything. We need to talk about it. It's really good.
Okay.
Honestly, I think that they're hating on Shamea. I think that Angela's also reaching to have beef with Shamea. I'm starting not to like Angela, to be honest. And that's it. I hope Shamea brings her A game at the reunion because I'm really scared for her.
I don't know. I don't have high hopes, but you never know. You never know.
We'll see. All right, Kempire.
Take care, Cynthia.
Take care.
Bye. Maybe she will. That would be fantastic if she really brings her A game at the reunion, but I don't know. I don't have high hopes. All right, let's bring up April Aries next. April, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Good afternoon, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, awesome. Okay, so the thing that concerned me about the therapy between Angela and her daughter, I was like, why are we drinking? I drink water at my therapy sessions because you need it. I was like, I don't think that's the best. And I
saw Angela's face, though, right?
Huh?
Angela made a face when she saw her put the drink down.
And then it's like you said, we're missing context to what's going on. And I think they need to come together as a family to explain the situation because kids talk. K. Michelle also needs to go to therapy to learn to accept her body, because what do you mean get a fitness? You have the resources. You're pissing me off. You got the money. Go work out. Do what you need to do. Shamea does need to step it up because there's potential, but I don't know how this reunion is going to fare for her. And that's all I wanted to say. Have a good day, Kempire.
You too, April. All right. Start the timer over again. Alexi says, Amari seems spoiled to me. Angela admitted to spoiling her because her dad passed when Amari was 7 years old. She definitely gives a little bit of an energy, spoiled energy. So when Angela said that you're spoiled and entitled, I definitely was like, that's coming from somewhere real. All right. Tammy's backstage. We're going to bring Tammy up next. Tammy, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Oh, hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Okay, so I am a Pisces, so I am sensitive, but I don't feel sorry for Shamea.
Oh, damn.
Sorry.
Okay.
No, you know why? Okay, I really rooted for Shamea. I watched her on the seasons as a friend of, and finally when she was going to get on the show, I was like, what? This girl is the ultimate housewife. It was so exciting. I even signed up to her YouTube channel. I thought she was bomb, but when she attached herself to Portia's beefs last season, I was disappointed because she could hold her own. She didn't need to do that. And the fact that Portia dropped those beefs and Shamea keeps them going, and her YouTube apology was so lackluster and didn't feel
It was
genuine.
weird, too.
Like, yes, it was just like, I apologize. Come on, girl. So, you know what? If she could just let things go, people wouldn't have this reaction to her. I wouldn't anyway. I'd be like, all right, Shamea, all right. If she just said, listen, I kind of messed up, but really genuinely, I think people would ride for her again. You know what I mean? We're not that hard. So that's all I had to say.
Thanks, Tammy, for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, we have Ashley backstage. Ashley, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, let me make it quick because I don't want to get in trouble now. So
the chat's going to get y'all before I get y'all.
So I know with Shamea, I am a Pisces, but I do feel sorry for her just because, and this is why I would never, ever in my lifetime have a friend be on the same reality show as me. I don't care how much my friends tell me I will be good for it. Absolutely freaking not. Just to see the tears, I feel as though it gets defensive as a way of combating everything. And last year, she was trying to essentially be a friend to Portia. Portia don't need no help. She's been a housewife for years. Now, Shamea was more funny when she was the friend of. And I thought she was a key, and I thought it was going to be great too, but obviously wrong. As far as K. Michelle being a Pisces, she disappoints me too. I understand her wanting to bring it to Shamea in the private because that's how I am, but then you tell the friend first before you go running your mouth. I'm like, girl, come on now. With Angela, for me, once the argument started at the end of the Bailey Bowl, which was honoring her mother, I felt some type of way about that, but people grieve differently.
I agree with you.
Yeah, even though I lost my mother 21 years ago, I would make it be more of a, hey, this is for my mother. We could talk about the situations later. I know you want me to go, so bye.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Ashley. See, I actually respected the timer. But I agree. I felt like I was a little put off by Angela. This is your event celebrating the 1-year anniversary of your mom, and you're the one starting beef. It kind of goes back to what people have said about Angela doing things for the camera. Just saying. Not twerking on the fence when it comes to that. All right, Kiki's backstage. Kiki, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta? Kiki, you're muted. Kiki, I can't hear you.
Me, but anyways, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, Kempire, first of all, may God deliver all of us from the spirit of keeping up with the Joneses, because I'm like, why would you be doing that at this grown age? One thing I'm so happy about being an adult is I get to live my truth. Like, why try to keep up appearances for who? And then your bank account is lackluster? Come on. And then lastly, please, Kempire, you need to review the book Polygamist. We need to do a different session for that one. Oh my God.
Okay, a bunch of y'all said it. I'm gonna try. I'm in the middle of rewatching the Game of Thrones, but no, I'll put it to the side.
No, we have to do Polygamist on Netflix. It's so good.
Is it scripted?
I think yes. I don't know. What do you mean by scripted?
Is it a reality show or is it
No, it's not a reality show. No, it's not a reality show. It's a South African show about the cheating Black men we have in Africa. So yes, you need to watch it. It's it's an amazing series. So yeah. But before you kick me out.
Okay. Thanks, Kiki. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, so let me get out of here before he kicks me out. All right, Queen Tulsa, what's going on? What did you want to share about Atlanta?
Listen, I'm a cancer season July 5th, but let's get into it. Shamea needs to give Gerald his son. And I'm going to say this. Kelli wants Gerald. Did you see how she was crying? Oh, Gerald, I want to thank you. And then she's in her T-shirt and her panties. She know that Gerald is going to be watching that. Listen here, she got new teeth and nobody thought to get her a new house. Listen. And then she's setting her daughter up for college to get her a man so she can live up off of him. Shamea brought the baby a box of condoms in that bag. Child. But listen, Portia, I got to say therapy is very sexy on you. Pinky, you a lion tail. Miss BJ Van Zant. Angela, you was bad as a mom. She had her mom as a therapist to help her with her and her daughter. And listen, it's no smoking and no drinking when you're in therapy. And K. Michelle needs to sit back and watch her husband get off with another woman. I said what I said. How you doing?
Thanks for calling it a mess. Y'all are a mess. Okay, now y'all trolling the channel down. Lord have mercy. Princess is backstage. We're going to bring Princess up next. Princess, what did you want to share?
Hey, honey.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm finna run this down real quick in this
Okay.
time. Let's talk about Shamea. First of all, she's too busy to go to therapy, but she's not busy enough to go with Candy twerking up in Thailand. But I'm just saying, therapy ain't nothing but an hour, and you could do that on the TV now. I feel like she's been a bench player all these years, and then when she got in the game, she dropped the ball, and she chose her team, and it was the losing team. It wasn't the Knicks this time. Let's
Wait,
go
pause.
with Kelly.
I'm pausing your time. Wait, pause. So you're saying literally what we saw in this last episode when Shamea took that 3-pointer and it missed. That's basically a metaphor for her time on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Okay, starting time again. Go ahead.
Okay, let's go on to Kelly. She's poor. She's rich people's poor, and she act like she ain't never had nothing. That's why she has to buy everything. She killed me when she talking about she don't wear no sneakers. So what was you wearing when you was over there in the streets of Maryland with Krishan, girl? Come on, let's go now. Now, my bestie has a $750,000 house up there where the girls from medicine live. So you mean to tell me you ain't got enough money to get you a little something here? Now, look, I know Keith, he must live on the north side of downtown or whatever, but I live on the south side with Obama's. And so now you can get you a little piece of something for $2,000 or whatever, and I know she could get something too. Angela is just a Chicago regular old mean girl. If you can't hang and if you can't play the dozens, then you will not survive here. So that she's just doing what she need to do. And I question her daughter's marriage because why are you ashamed to tell your people? Why are you ashamed to live out loud? Happy Pride. And also, oh, I forgot about Kelly's lashes. If you get mink lashes, they cost a couple of $100. They're supposed to last a whole month. What are you doing, girl? And that's it.
Thanks, Princess. Wow. See, I don't know about those things. I think Kelly was inflating some of those numbers. I hope she was. I don't hope she was, especially for the sake of her children. All right. Pure Sunshine's backstage. Pure Sunshine, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing this week?
Hey, I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay. Let's break this down. First of all, listen. Angela, you a little slimy to me. I gotta watch you. You just slithering through. You're a little slimy. Do not bring Cynthia back as a full-time, because the only thing she gonna bring us, she get engaged and she get married, she'll be divorced in another year. You got Kelly, girlfriend. There's no way you paying somebody $10,000 for glam and eyelashes and whatsoever because they look like you look a mess. And if they taking your money, they laughing at you on the way out the door. The person that you probably bought your daughter probably came from the man in the van in the Walmart parking lot. I don't believe they was real, or they came from Alabama. Then you got her walking into a $7,000 a month apartment home, whatever she's trying to get in Alpharetta. First of all, if you paying $2,000 a month and you paying all this money, you didn't buy a home first. Why didn't you sit up here and rent an apartment when you could have bought a home before you paid that $2,000 on a car note? And then the second thing is, you say you don't pay bills. So is that the reason why you broke? Because how you running a business and you don't know how to pay the bills? I know a lot of people say the business manager pay the bills, but that's the whole reason why a lot of people go broke, because the business manager taking the money. So girl, miss us with that. Then you got Shamea. Shamea, listen, girl.
Sorry, time's up.
Dang. Okay.
Do Shamea quick. Go.
Shamea, you're a fool. Simply because the reason is you don't want to be talked about. Stop telling things that people tell you and it won't come back and smack you in the face. You came out last year trying to come after Portia. Don't you know the pawns always fall first? You can't come for the queen, which I'm not saying Portia's, well, actually she is queen of Atlanta for right now because Nina is not there. You can't come for the queen first because you already know in chess, the pawns always fall first. You tried to be a pawn, you tried to get Angela, you tried to get Drew, and all they did was turn around and slap you in your face because you were telling them all the information and it didn't go the way that you thought it was going to go. You thought they was going to come after Portia, but they turned around and came after you. So you on here crying, you only crying because you realize, dang, I have messed up. I got to fix this. And then you went back and told something to K. Michelle, and then K. Michelle told Pinky. These people would be better off if they stopped telling each other what somebody then told you in confidence. But we'll see how it goes. And thank you for listening to me. I love you, Kempire.
Thanks, Pure Sunshine. It sounds like pure shade, not pure sunshine. Sounds like pure shade. Okay. Audrey's backstage. We're going to bring Audrey up next. Audrey, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. Happy Pride.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Okay, so really quickly, I wanted to touch on Angela and just rock with me for a minute on this. I know I've been seeing a lot of things about like how she may be homophobic. I think it's something else. Okay. And I don't want to misgender her or anything like this. And I want to use the correct pronouns when I say this, but I just don't remember. Remember when Cher's daughter first came out, right? And how Cher's daughter was then transitioning to a trans man.
Yes.
And how, remember Cher, gay icon, and how Cher's daughter was talking about how her mother didn't necessarily initially get on board, and how it was about how Cher was grieving the life that she wanted for her daughter. It wasn't necessarily that she was homophobic, but she has so many dreams for her daughter that she now realized that wasn't going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of think that's what's happening with Angela. It's not that she's homophobic, because I'm not getting homophobic tease from Angela. I think she wanted this life for her daughter, right? She dreamt this for her daughter, the wedding, the husband, and the husband. It's not necessarily she's homophobic, it's just grieving, right? What is not going to happen for her daughter. So that's all that. It's not necessarily homophobia, it's more so I'm grieving as a mother what I thought my daughter was going to have.
No.
Does that make sense?
No, I definitely understand, but according to them, it has nothing to do with her sexuality.
I don't believe that.
You see why the audience is confused? Because it's like, so then what is it?
But I think it could be a little bit of that. That's what I'm picking up. And Drew is whack, and she will always be whack. Have a good day.
Oh, damn. Bye, Audrey. Why Audrey at the end like that? Poor Drew. Why Drew getting it? All right. Not poor Drew. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling too bad for Drew. I'm feeling bad for everybody. It's cancer season, y'all. My cancer rising has been activated. I'm falling apart. All right. Let's bring up the K perspective. Kay, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
I already know I'm in the minority of my thoughts, but it's okay.
Okay, just don't tell me to hush.
Listen, I'm not. Listen, I feel you. I feel bad for Shamea, too. And I honestly believe that's why K. Michelle didn't say nothing in that moment, because she saw where it was going. Because we did see a preview. She's going to bring it up to her next episode, just not right then and there. But I think that Shamea, I think the double standard is real. I think if some of our favorites, the fan favorites, would have seen other people say some things, like even with her saying her husband can buy the team, people said that was so cringe. Even if it was one of the fan favorites, people would have been like, oh, period. But because it's her, it's like she can't. It's like, I think what we see is her scrambling, because I don't think she's evil like people saying. I really think she's cringy. I think she's what people would consider as whack. Her and Drew are underdogs, so I feel like it's so easy for people to come at them. If you notice, the fan base are always coming at them. A lot of people come at them because it's easy. So I think it's probably going to be better for her to leave the show, because I don't see her, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically saving herself. I don't see her coming out of this. You know what I'm saying? Because when she quiet, she a lapdog. When she say something, she evil. She can't do nothing right at this point. So it's probably just better for her to just cut her losses and then just go ahead and exit. But I feel sorry for her too, because she don't deserve all of the hate she's getting.
Perfect timing, K perspective. Thanks for calling in. And see how you can share your perspective without telling me to hush? Just saying. All right. Michelle's backstage. Let's bring up Michelle next. Michelle, what did you want to share?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, so I looked up the numbers about Portia, and I don't think the divorce with Simon was a big flex. When she married Simon, you remember she quit all her jobs. She only had the bedsheet line and go naked. And Fallon said she was only making $10,000, getting $10,000 a month from allowance from Simon, which is not a lot considering how he carries on. So the divorce, she got $40K for 15 months, which totals up $600K. And that's pretty good for how long they were married.
And she hasn't gotten that yet.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's not paying any of the bills. If you go back to a couple of episodes, she said she was doing this all by herself. So that's why I think she sold the house, because if he's paying all the bills, there would be no need to sell the house. And the house she bought in 2016 for $1.15 million and sold it for $1.16 in November. So that's only $500K. So I think Portia thinks that she won, but she didn't win. And I think she doesn't want to sell the $7 million house because it would look like she lost. And people already knew that marriage was not a good thing. So for her to sell that house and move back into her other house, it would mean she completely lost. And she doesn't want to do that. So I think that's why she sold that house instead of selling the mansion.
And I think she's going to sell the mansion soon. I think eventually. I think right now it's a convenient space for her to film Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like she can really afford a $7 million house. And she can't. Clearly, she didn't buy this house.
Yeah, because those numbers don't make any sense to me. But thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, and look, the fans will be like, oh, y'all think y'all know everything. And then you make up all these excuses for people. There's a lot of people, not just reality TV stars, that give you a certain persona. We've talked a lot about the pandemic. There was a lot of these celebrities that you thought had money, but the minute touring had to stop and the world shut down, you saw that they really could not afford the lifestyle that they were portraying to the world. So it's like, even some of these billionaires are liquid cash they don't have. All right, Amy's backstage. Amy J, what's going on?
Hey,
How are you?
I had a theory about Angela
Oh,
and her daughter. I personally think because they didn't elope.
I don't know. Technically, because she didn't involve the
There
family.
was a wedding,
Yeah.
and for her to tell her little brother and sisters that she got married, but then she would have to explain why they weren't invited and why they weren't included. Because then it would mean, because you have to show the pictures and stuff, and then there'd be people there that you probably knew about it and they got invited. Maybe there were other kids there.
Oh.
I was thinking about stuff like that for me, because I remember a family member of mine got married and they didn't include me. So when they did share with me, I couldn't even, this is when I was a kid, I couldn't get past the fact I was never invited. And I was mad about that. So I think that there is a fallout based on who was invited, why they were invited, and why they were included. Maybe grandma was there.
Well, but she said in this episode, if it was a man, she would tell them.
But I'm talking about the wedding. Because sometimes you would have to explain why you did what. Because the thing is not just you got married, it was they weren't included. They weren't invited. They didn't get to participate. They didn't get to have that moment with you. That's what I remember when it happened to me as a kid, that I didn't get to go. I wasn't invited. And that's hard to explain to a child because they have nothing to do with the world. So you have to explain it, but they will understand it. That's what I think the major issue is.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Amy.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, you see how everyone's speculating because they have not been clear on what exactly are we arguing about. Speaking of family members getting married and not telling people, I recently found out a family member got married. And technically, the family member still has not told me that they got married. I had to find out from another family member. See, I just remember, but here's the thing. I don't know if this is a Taurus thing. Here's the thing. I don't care. That's the crazy thing. I don't care. I also found out said family member is having a baby. Look, let me spilling people's tea. I didn't tell you who it was. It's spilling tea. Spilling my own tea. Not my own tea, but you got to say family member tea. I found out they having a kid by them sending me a link to said baby shower. They having a baby too. Just saying. Really? First of all, I was like, who baby is this? But here's the difference. Okay, technically, by definition, I was blindsided. But at the same time, I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care. You don't got to keep your secrets for me, but don't be coming to me for a gift. Really? The disrespect. All right. We're going to get to the rest of these callers. Please respect the timer. Guys, you're just joining us. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Be sure to like the video. It's easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Don't forget, you can also hear us on the KEMPIRE podcast. Who subscribed to the podcast? If you're not, you should, because you never know when I'm adding additional thoughts, special episodes like what we dropped yesterday. Be sure to subscribe to the KEMPIRE podcast and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. We also have our new mailing list, which is free. Get your tickets. I'm about to talk about that. Join the mailing list today at thekempire.com/join. thekempire.com/join. Speaking of tickets, get your tickets today for the KEMPIRE After Dark live show. Get your in-person tickets, but there are also live stream tickets. The KEMPIRE After Dark live show returns September 25th at the Green Room 42. Ticket information will be available in the description. All right, let's bring up Noda Queen next. Noda Queen, what did you want to share? Hey.
I don't feel sorry for Shamea.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. And it's funny that one caller brought up Karen Huger because I was thinking this episode that Shamea reminds me a lot of Karen Huger just without the charisma. But she went and started all these beefs with everybody behind Portia. And then now you and Portia fell out. You don't want to reconcile that. That's fine. You don't have to. But then everybody is trying to reconcile with you. It's your energy and your attitude that kept that from happening. With Angela, she came in with the hostess acting crazy about Angela. So I don't feel sorry for her. You feel like you don't belong in this group. You're not acting like you belong in this group. So that's how this is going to play out until you act different. But with Angela and her situation, I just find it hard to believe there's no homophobia in it because she said she's had this partner for years. She's been around for years and they just think that's her best friend. That's the roommate thing, your uncle's good friend thing that you do. That's not something you do when you're open and accepting to your child's lifestyle. No matter what bullying she may face on the outside world, if she was comfortable enough to tell her mom, then that says something about the household that she's in.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Thanks, Noda Queen. I have to say, I kind of agree with that. But we've been saying that. It feels, especially with Amari having that mentality. I'm not saying that you can't have that mentality and still have very open and honest parents and welcoming parents, but I just feel it might be something in the household. Wave Keith, I am not dealing with you today. Tools for Life, I saved your comment because I wanted to address it. Tools for Life says, Kemp, I love you. I love how you guys, you want to give me a little love, then you won't tell me I will disagree on one thing. Not hiding your face. Show your face. I don't think everyone needs a heavy storyline. Sometimes the storyline is how they navigate their relationships and group dynamics. Tools for Life. I've always said, I don't believe someone needs a storyline if they have an interesting personality. So even if you don't have a storyline to save your life, if you have an interesting personality and you're great, that's the thing with Phaedra. I think Phaedra adds a lot when it comes to commentary in the confessionals. However, I don't feel like she brings a lot in scenes either, though. Confessionals is great, but in scenes, she gets lost. And for someone that's been on reality television for so long, you shouldn't get lost in what's happening. You know what I mean? Because even Portia in the Bailey Bowl scene, even she stands out in that moment. She was just like, who's in my lap now? So there are moments where Portia actually steps up. Happy birthday, Portia. All right. But yeah, so I've always said, run the tape, rewind the tape. I've always said, I don't think you need to have a storyline. I know the fans say it all the time. Where's the storyline? Where? But I pointed out, where's the storyline when you don't bring anything else? So then there's that. All right, let's bring up Camille next. Camille, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Happy Monday, Cam.
You too.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I just wanted to make sure you could hear me. Yes.
Okay.
With Shamea, on one hand, I do feel sorry because I have feelings and people have feelings. And I feel like on paper, she is a quintessential housewife. She started as a friend of and everything. She got to marry her husband without everyone being in her relationship. Yeah. She got to escape all of that. But that's what it comes with reality TV personalities. I don't think she has the personality to stand in her own on reality. I think that behind closed doors, she's probably a really good friend. Like a really good friend. People speak highly of her. But I think when it comes to reality TV, you kind of have to have a little bit of a don't give a F anyone says and things. And I think that's why some of the biggest reality stars that we like, we would not personally have them as friends. But in real life, not so much.
A lot of them.
Shamea, it's the reverse. Yes, exactly. And I think that she stepped in mud a couple times and she just doesn't know how to navigate it and be like, yeah, I said it, kind of thing. That's what I got to say about her.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that. And that's why I said I didn't think that things would change. I didn't think that the audience's opinion of her would change in her second season. And clearly they're not.
I think if she came back and held her own and held her own instead of piecing off information and carrying back incorrect information, that's what we're seeing is her carrying back the incorrect information and then hiding behind, I didn't say it, but you did. You repeated it, especially with the Pinky and Phaedra comment. Your friend said it, not Phaedra. So that's where it gets messy. Yeah. But that's just how I see it with them.
Thanks, Camille. Have a good day.
No problem.
Bye. All right, we're going to take a couple more callers, guys. If you're just joining us, we're talking to the audience, our community, in regards to the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. But if you're part of the replay crew, we want to hear what you guys think. How would you guys rate this week's episode, and how would you rate the season so far? Don't forget to let us know where you're watching from as well. We always love hearing that, and I'll see you guys in the replay. Let's bring up Jared next. Jared, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Now, let me say, I'm side-eyeing Angela.
Oh.
That conversation, is she homophobic? I'm looking at it. I need clarification at that reunion.
Yeah.
I just got more questions. Yeah. Kelli, why is she even touring a $7,000 a month with a $4,000 budget? That made no sense. No sense at all. And listen, I feel bad for Shamea. Ooh. I feel like she's a piñata and they just keep taking wax at her.
Yeah.
And Angela bringing it up, that was really tacky. But that's all I got, Kempire. That's all I got.
Thanks, Jared. That was enough. Thanks, Jared. Bye. Jared did that in less than 30 seconds. I love it. All right. Let's give Elijah his time. Elijah, you got a minute and 30 seconds. Elijah, are you there? You're muted.
Hey, Kempire.
What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. So a couple of things I wanted to share, right? So K. Michelle, as far as K. Michelle, I know a lot of people are saying they want her off the show. She's still to me, like what redeems her is her funny moments. So I would still like to see her on the show. She just needs to stop getting in a quote unquote alliance with the wrong group. And she needs to stop being so paranoid. Because I feel like just because you went through a situation with whatever happened with Love and Hip Hop and all that mess, you need to let it go. If you say you let it go, she has not taken her foot off of Rashida's neck. And I'm okay with that. But just keep it with Rashida. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you gotta bring that paranoia into the group? You know what I mean? I feel like her insecurity really shows, even with the whole situation with her even asking about the implants after everything that happened.
Yeah.
Like, why would you even dare to ask about that when you know how it affected you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's still like, her funny moments redeem it for me. The other thing I was gonna say is, I feel like when Cynthia said about Shamea getting therapy, I know Cynthia meant that in a very genuine way. But I felt like I feel like at that point, Shamea should look at herself and be like, okay, maybe I do need to do some work. Maybe I need to get off this show. Because if someone is genuinely suggesting therapy to me based on how I'm navigating in the group and my personal life, I think that's a sign. You know what I'm saying? And then the other thing was, I feel like, to me, she's doing exactly what she accused Portia of doing with the whole alliance thing. Because clearly, when Pinky brought up the whole thing about what she said to Kay, yeah, okay, obviously Kay did have a weird recollection of things that went on, but I do believe that Shamea said something to the effect of, my friends don't want me to be friends with you. I can totally see it. I don't think Shamea is as innocent. I feel like if you're friends with Portia for that many years, you are not innocent, okay? So I feel, you know what I'm saying, who you hang around with says a lot about you. And so I feel like she's not that innocent, and her interview with Carlos King didn't change a thing for me. While I can agree with her on some things, it's like her one-liners don't give as much because she is just, it's her, honestly, because like I said last time, the whole thing, don't make me call Portia, landed differently than don't make me call Marlo. I think it's a perfect example right there. So that's that.
Thanks, Elijah. All right. Shout out to everyone that called in. Shout out to Miss Esquire, who's celebrating 53 months of being a member here on the channel. Miss Esquire says Shamea does not have the personality for reality TV. She has what she needs to secure her lifestyle. Ooh. She says, I wish that was enough, but she wants fame, not just wealth. Yeah. Yeah. I have to agree with that. And I get it. There are people that like Shamea. And for what I've heard, the networks like Shamea. And I think it's because Shamea, on this cast, she's one of the few people that checks all the boxes that you guys continuously say that you want on the show. You want a rich housewife. You want a married housewife. You want a black housewife. It's a black show. You get what I'm saying. But she checks off all those boxes. And I think at the end of the day, they're going to bring her back. I think everyone's going to probably come back anyway. But it will be up to Shamea. And I said last season, I felt like, Shamea, I don't think this is going to get better for you. But Shamea is willing to do this show regardless of it not necessarily being great for her mental health or because she wants to be famous. Here's the thing. She also sees the benefits that it also has afforded her when it comes to what she's been seeking, when it comes to being famous and getting opportunities like sponsorships and acting roles and things like that. It's opened up another opportunity for her. in regards to that. I honestly don't think that she's great. She's not a great reality TV star. I have to agree with Miss Escobar, but we've been saying that. Okay? But I think some of the tears that we see at the end of this week's episode, it's not just about not fitting in with the group. It's not being accepted by the audience. And I think, especially because after the season has wrapped and now she's filming these confessionals, she's probably already predicting what the rest of the world is going to view her as. And she feels like a lone wolf when it comes to the rest of the women. And I'm sure she feels even more so now that people are seeing the episodes. Verified the Game says addicted to fame. A lot of these people, but that's very common in Atlanta. Atlanta folks, there's a lot of folks that want to be famous. Hence why we got Mike on there. I'm starting to question the sway of it all. And that's why we see all these other men that come on this show and you're like, oh my God. So there's a lot of folks that this is their come up. And to be on a Bravo reality show, it's not Love and Hip Hop. To be on a Bravo reality show, even better. Because they do see opportunities that open up for them. All right. Ooh, Miss Parker says, we started off with broke housewives pretending to be rich. I'll work with the fake till you make it. These moments seeking housewives are whack. Ooh, well, damn. Guys, that's it for our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know how you would rate this week's episode, how you rate the season so far, your thoughts on this week's episode, your thoughts on what we had to say. And let us know where you're watching from and how much a rent for a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom or maybe a studio costs in your area. Because we digress all the time here on the channel, but I love this one. All right. Don't forget to check out the description for all of our sponsor information. Go to get your discounts, guys. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunities here on the channel. And if you want more discounts and more sponsors to come to the channel, go check them out. Go support. Go hit the links. Go do all the things. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show returns to New York City on September 25th. This will be our end of the summer celebration. So we'll be talking about all the things, spilling the tea. You'll be spilling the tea. But don't be afraid to come on your own. That's one of the things that I see a lot of people that I see in the city that I meet. They're like, oh, I'm kind of scared to come on my own. And I've told people every show that we've done, no, this is probably the best opportunity to come to a show on your own because you're going to meet other people that watch the same content. This is an opportunity for you guys to connect. Some of you guys have made real friends from coming on your own with yourself. Just saying. And you know me, all right? And I'm going to ask who came here on their own, who's standing in their truth, all right? All right. All right, let's continue this conversation, guys, in the comment section. Thank you to our King Scars. Be sure to thank them. We have thousands of people that come through here. Some people trolling. Some people are just their first time. And our King Scars hold us down in the live chat and in the comment section. So be sure to say thank you to them and hello as well. And don't forget, the replay will have the donation link that we have. If Mr. Melon Match is asking about where the link to donate is, and he's in here all the time, really, sir, go check out any of our last videos. You can be able to donate. If you're part of the replay crew, I'm going to do it right now. Matter of fact, while I'm live, I'm going to do it right now so that you guys can donate to our fundraiser for Pride Month. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. Thank you to everyone that's already donated. Let me change this over so that you guys can donate on this video. Please and hold. Please and hold. Hold on. Let me do it right now. Let me see where we're at with our goal. We're not even at $2,000. We got $8,000 to go. More than $8,000 to go. Wow. So you guys are homophobic. You guys are Angela. So that's what you're saying to me. You guys are Angela. You do not support the LGBT community. Fine. Okay. I see how you do us. We're being facetious, Angela. Calm down. All right. I appreciate you all being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.